Good morning. I hope everybody can hear me. Let me go ahead and open. Let's see if I can get my YouTube to open. There seems to be a problem with the way that StreamYard links up. So I can't access the chat for some weird reason. Okay, it looks like I'm up and running. All right. So there we go. Well, if I can't access it from one way, I can always do it from another way. Let's see, comments. Where are the comments? Here we go. All right. Let's see who's first. It looks like Yellow Rose is first today. Good morning, Rick and Milton. Have a great day ahead. Excellent. Good morning, everyone. All right. Lady June says good morning. And there's Mike Seeley Jr., United Carnivore. Greetings from Tampa Bay. And good morning from Rick. Bacon Runner. Good morning and hello to Rick and Jonathan. Yes. And there's Brian Dish. Good morning, Rick, and all quackers. Well, there we go. And Sandy. Good morning, Rick and Jonathan. All right. Let me make sure that there are no problems. I see everything is going well. Okay. Working for me. All right. We're going to catch up early. Today is going to be a little bit different. And normally we have sort of an open-ended end, but we're going to be ending before noon. And the reason is, there we go. Jonathan has filled in a comment. There we are. And let's see here. Okay. There we go. A nice thumbnail. Well, you can thank Jonathan for that because Jonathan has been taking his time and using his talent to bring a little bit of life to Rick's live stream, which hasn't really been that lively. Okay, so let me go ahead and keep going. And I'm going to get rid of this ugly towel, which I put over this to keep Milton from destroying my couch. We'll get rid of that. All right. Now we're back to, now what's this? Oh, there's my old phone cord. I made a few changes. I've actually gotten rid of the corded keyboard because this is like the third time I've had to repair the cord. And there's John Together Strong. Together Strong. Sharing experience, strength, and hope. One day at a time. Good morning, Jonathan. Well, there you go. We have a good morning for Jonathan. And there's Kurt, Meathead for Life, also saying good day to Jonathan. And thankfully, everyone has spelled Jonathan's name correctly. And now Kurt's saying good day to me, the brother from another mother. And I say the feeling is mutual. And I'm glad to have you here as always, one of our loyal friends in the carnivore community. Like me, sometimes misunderstood, but once you get to know somebody and you know the real person, it's hard to deny the quality of the people that we have on this channel. And Sully Mart, good morning, peeps. I'm a newbie on this channel, joining in from Black Mountain, North Carolina. Well, we appreciate everyone that comes in this channel and comes in, and we're going to give you a link later on so you can actually join it if you like, but you can continue to chat anytime you want because I definitely participate. And yes, YouTube has a strange habit of deleting comments. Why they do that, I don't know. I usually make a record of it, but because we're doing this a little bit differently and I worked late yesterday, I didn't do it. And who's ready for Rick? Well, Jonathan asks, I'll be joining shortly. Well, that's great. And again, aren't we glad that we have Jonathan, who is the only professional bodybuilder in the carnivore community? The fact that he tends to associate with me is amazing because I would think that most people, they would want to avoid me, especially the popular ones, the influencer types. But I see some of the regular people here, and every one that I've seen in my chat is somebody that I think is quality. Lazy Carnivore, best lives are when Rick's hosting. Well, thank you. I don't think you're that lazy if you like my lives. And let's see, we have Juliet saying hello to everyone. Wendy, Brian, United Carnivore, Jonathan, Rick, and Milton, 7 a.m. here in Springfield, Missouri. And again, I hope that you are enjoying getting away from your corporate life and starting a new life with a little bit more freedom. And I hope that people are taking advantage of your knowledge in the carnivore community. And Smoothie 420, good Saturday morning, Rick, Milton, and everybody. Well, good morning, as always. Thank you for dropping in. And yes, Ryan Dish can hear me. I'm looking at my VU meters and they show that everything is good. And Chuck, Supertune, says it's working for me. Well, again, glad to have you here as always. I don't know if you're working at the shop today or if you're home, but I'm glad that you take the time to listen and participate, because it's not just the listening, but also the participation that makes this channel unique. Good morning, Rick, and all the quackers. Well, good morning, Chuck. One of the things that a lot of people do, which I don't understand, they tend to migrate towards these really popular channels. Why do I smell something burning? I think, hold on a second. I think that Milton has done something in the kitchen. I will be right back. No, Milton. 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 Milton, come here. Milton. Oh, my goodness. You are so funny, you silly Milton. Yep. Milton somehow managed to turn the stove on, and I just shut off the main valve because I'm not sure what Milton was doing, but Milton can be a menace. And again, from Manda, the carnivore, good morning, Milton. Yeah, Rick and Milton. Well, Milton also said meow, so I guess that was a good morning. I hope your day is starting off well. Well, Aaron, so far so good. No problems. And we got some great people here, and we'll be having Jonathan dropping in. So it's going to be an excellent live, as it always has been. My lives seem to be more popular since Jonathan has reconnected and we've become sort of a regular team. So I think that things are definitely improving. And we're saying good morning to all. And good morning to Juliet. And good morning from Peter, Papa Carnivore. Good morning, quackers. Peter had messaged me that he's sending some more goodies for me and my kitties. So I'm looking forward to that. And like always, when someone sends me something, I do show it to everyone just to see what a great carnivore community we have. And Danny in Boston, good morning, Rick and all. And you're part of the reason why we're going to be limiting this live stream today. If anyone doesn't know, there is a meetup going on thanks to Barry Simon, who again is another excellent carnivore person, someone that has been a great supporter of my channel, and someone that has also used me as the source of many funny videos. And if I get a chance, I'll show you some of them. But I'm sure that all of us, I think most of us, are subscribers to Mitch, his channel. So you've probably seen the memes. The latest one they did, they made me look like Fidel Castro with a beard and a cigar. They didn't have the little hat, but I'm sure they'll add that between Thomas and Barry. And there's Bride's Biscuit. Good morning, Rick and Jonathan. Sup, fam? Well, hey, we're doing good. I hope everyone is feeling as good as I am. And we have a hello to Jonathan. Question: why did you create a second live stream in Portal Live mode? That was Jonathan, and I believe that's a StreamYard function. So I'm not sure why it does that. That's the same thing that happens on Kiltz's live stream. Whatever happens, I don't know. I don't have any control over it. If I do it the old-fashioned way, it won't be there. Jonathan is absolutely brilliant. Yes, brilliant, experienced, and good-looking. So you can't go wrong right there. And Jonathan is great. That's correct. And there's Thomas. I'm on my 5th day fasting and feeling great. Well, hey, Thomas, I'm glad to see you here. And, you know, you've been looking really good since you trimmed your facial hair. You've got it right down the middle. You actually do look even better than you did before. You have sort of that natural look, but again, it's like my yard, for example. My yard is kind of wild, but I have that trimmed area out front, and I think it looks pretty good. With facial hair, I'm not really a big fan of having the long stuff down here because it reminds me of the Amish, but keep it trimmed right there. It looks good. It's professional. And as you lose more and more body fat, you're just going to keep looking better. So you may end up becoming sort of a celebrity in the carnivore community. Bacon Runner, I'm here, just came in. Well, I am glad that you have come in. I bought a big rack of pork spare ribs at Winn-Dixie yesterday on sale for $1.99 a pound. They were so delicious and fatty crispy. I've got lots of leftovers. Well, you have leftovers. Every time I've had pork spare ribs, I never have any leftovers. I just end up walking away full. That's what happens. And we have a good morning to Jonathan from Brian Dish. And yep, don't even try to fast. See, they're encouraging you, Thomas. You're doing well. I see a Barry Simon meme of Milton starting a stove fire on Rick's life. Well, that's it. What it is, yeah, Milton knocked over basically, and I don't know, it's not supposed to go on the countertop, but I guess when he tried to climb up there, he must have hit the knob for the stove, and the pilot light is on, but now it is off. I didn't have time, but I turned it off. I have a little extra gas in the gasifier, so I've been running the pilot light for the last couple of days, but I shut it off now. Whenever I leave the house, I always turn off the gas supply, and I add a second air mattress to pick up the gas. The gas is actually about 60 feet from the house, like 60 feet from the stove. And Bella Girl, good Saturday morning, everyone. Well, good Saturday morning. We're almost catching up here. Good to see everybody. Hey, Rick. Hey, Jonathan. I'll be mostly listening in while I work. Now, carry on. Glad to be here. Well, thank you for coming on in. I'm going to cook up 5-6 eggs, fry in lots of butter with some leftover steelhead trout before I head into work. Leftover pork spare ribs for dinner. That's great. That's awesome. More memes coming today from our Boston meetup. Well, there you go. How does it feel to know that Indian temples represent wormhole travel machines and their engineers? Totally true. Well, I guess that's some good sarcasm. Hey, whatever. And there we go. There's Liz. Hey, Rick from Planet Mopar. Well, hey, Liz. I have not been able to catch your live streams. I've been too busy working, but I'm going to try if I get the time. The problem is I just don't have a lot of time. It's hard to believe that someone as poor as me is always working. I don't know. Seems like the harder I work, the poorer I get. Maybe I should just sit home, claim disability, and just get a government check. I think that is very good, Donna Ray. All right. I love leftovers. Nothing goes to waste here, just like Rick. Yes, that is very true. And Thomas says, thank you. Appreciate that. See everybody later on Mitch's live stream for the Boston meetup. Yes, Mike Seeley Sr., I guess you're over there at the meetup, huh? Or let's see, virtual, we'll see. I doubt that, but I do like feeling better being me. Well, that's what's important. It's not important what other people think. It's important how you feel and what you can do. And there's Larry Ryan, 6173. Good morning, Rick and Carnivores. Well, good morning. I'm working today until 9, but I'm going to try and watch Mitch's live stream of the Boston meetup. I will watch the live stream as well. Yes, I am breaking in tomorrow at 9 a.m. with some homemade bone broth and then some burger patties and eggs. Have a good day. All right. So I caught up with the comments. We started on time. So in typical Rick fashion, I am now ready to start talking about different things until Jonathan comes in, and we'll have Jonathan here. And then if you want, we can put up a live, but I don't want to put up the link until Jonathan comes in. We get a chance to touch base, and then we'll make a decision as to when to put the link. Now, again, it's supposed to be at noon Eastern Standard Time. I don't have the link for the meetup, but I'm sure it'll be spread around there, and I can post it on there if somebody wants me to virtually. Okay, so you will be there virtually just like most of us. And let's see what Liz says. I haven't done lives in about 2 weeks because I've been working late a lot too. I get it. Plus, the lives are not the same without my co-pilot. Well, there you are. My co-pilot, I don't know where he went. He was stalking me, but as soon as I turned on the computer and the camera was on, it seems like he got camera shy and ran away. So I guess people must have been talking to Milton, and that's it. Hello, everybody. Hey, Rick, just touching base. I'm on the regular feed now. How's everybody doing today? Well, I think very well. No, sarcastic. The universe eats meat. Meat eats meat. We eat each other. Interesting. I try to avoid anything that doesn't have a tail. The live stream is in both mobile and desktop view, so people can choose how they want to view it optimally. Well, that's it. And I know that's what happens on the Dr. Kilt's live stream. So I guess we have upgraded to a little bit higher technology. And Goopinder, sir. Okay. I don't recognize that username, but hey, every new one is a great thing. And thank you for both options. See, somebody likes it. That's it. What time is TV time? I wonder if that's one of those oddballs. Let me take a look at my channel over here. And I don't know. Things seem to be okay in my channel. So I am. There we go. Okay. Anyway. Yep. Let me go back over here to the main comments. I've watched a few videos, an Eddie video. Yeah, the thing is, he's interesting, but he doesn't participate a lot. So I kind of put his videos on the back burner and I look at them when I can. And then YouTube doesn't send me the links. So, and speaking of our prominent carnivore friends, there is Kelly, Missouri Carnivore. Good morning, Rick and everyone. Well, good morning. I'm glad that you have dropped in. And here's Ivy. And I saw that you had a live earlier. So good to have you in here. And let's see what else we got going on. We have the automated responses to hit the like, and I agree with that 100%. Rick and I will discuss what he likes for his channel. It's all up to him. That is correct. But I trust your judgment, Jonathan, because you have a lot more experience on live streaming than I do. In fact, you are one of the reasons why I started live streaming, believe it or not, because the very first live stream I ever did was with Jonathan. You can look back in my history and you'll see that. And Peter says hello to Jonathan and Corgi Lover. Hey, good morning, Rick. What is the name of the channel that just interviewed you? Great interview, but I can't find it again. This is called, I think it's called Fit. What is it? It's AF. It's Fit After 40 or Fit. Yeah. Fitness After 40 or Fitness AF or something like that. I will show you the channel. His name is Luke, and no, it's not Luke Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard, but a very interesting and I think a up-and-coming YouTuber, in my opinion. I did do a few videos this past week, and the last one I did, you made an appearance in the first minute. I can't help myself. Forgive me. You're welcome to do that whenever you want. Whenever we do collaborations, I allow that. All the people, in fact, all of you that are my friends on YouTube, you can feel free to use my videos as you like. And if I don't like them, I will call you out. That interview you did was a good one. Well, that's because, again, I had someone and he approached me. He wanted to do an interview and that was good. And Kurt says, you got to go. Take care, everyone. Eat meat and be happy. Well, thank you. I guess you're out working today or getting supplies. So check in if you like at any time. Thanks for being here, my brother from another mother. That's awesome. Good morning, Aaron. So we have a good morning, and I just watched you and Dave Max live. It was great. Yes. And again, I don't catch all Dave Max videos like I used to. I just don't have the time, and I'm not trying to be, I don't watch your videos. I just don't have the time. That was a good interview with Rick and Luke. Yes. Isn't he interesting? I'm telling you. He has a good voice. He's good looking. And I think that his YouTube career is going to get better. Although YouTube today is crap compared to what it was. And there's just too much competition. Not bad, Kelly. Working. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber now. But unless you have the right connections, you won't be. Okay. Heading to Boston Meetup today. See? Another one at the Boston Meetup. And let's see if we can hit that later on. All right. So anyway, let me see if I can find out the YouTuber that they're mentioning. I'm going to put it into my chat because I can't seem to put it in here. Let me go ahead and see if I can find it. I'll go on YouTube. And I've got itchy because Milton was rubbing against me with his nose and his face and his fur. And I've got fur all over my nose because the lard that I've had when I was eating, it sticks to the cat fur and it makes me itch on my nose. So we will clear this out eventually. That's a bad thing. When you have a friendly cat, they can be way too friendly, which is fine. I mean, it happens. All right, let me see if I can locate, and I will find this right here. Where is it? It's not here. Okay. All right. Nope, that's not it. Oh, come on. Let's see. Functional After 40. Functional After 40 is the channel name, and I will put this in my video right here, and we will put it in my chat. There we go. That is the channel. And if you want to see the video, let me go ahead and put a link to that while I'm at it. So we'll find it right here. And here it is, the famous Rick video. So we'll go ahead and we will link this up and we will copy it. Okay. There we are. Now this guy is this Rick guy, I don't know. Hey, he's got about 985 views. That's actually pretty good. I was telling Luke, I hope this will help your channel improve. Now, this is what happened to me with Joey Schwartz about 4 years ago. The problem is that Joey Schwartz went off the deep end and was an embarrassment to the carnivore community. But I'm still not regretting doing the interview because that brought me out in the first place. All right, there we go. And let's see if we can get back to the chat. And there we are. And let's see. We have, remember to hit like. And remember, when Jonathan gives you an order, it means business. Good morning, Rick and everyone. Where's your sidekick, Jonathan? Well, Jonathan is not just a sidekick. He's like the star of the show. But he will be here, probably in a little bit. But he is here. He's in the background. Well, not as many will want to do YouTube now after the upcoming change to monetization. Now, to be a partner program, you have to have 8,000 watch hours instead of 4,000. Starting February 2027, yes. And YouTube, as more and more people use it, they're going to be stingier and stingier. And Jonathan says, I'm not a sidekick, Terry. See? And I said the same thing. Great minds think alike around here. Okay, and let's see. All right, we have a thanks. And let's see. Patricia Butler. Hi, everyone. Well, hello. Glad that you have dropped in. And there's Terry Girl. Morning, Rick. Morning. No starfish today. Jonathan, only kidding. Just used to seeing you on with Rick. Well, Jonathan has his own videos too, which you can check out. And he was posting videos while I was sitting in the background. Also, you will see total views after August 24th, not real first frame views, and also the engaged views. Not sure why they're doing that. It's kind of worthless. Well, pretty much everything that YouTube does seems to be worthless. What happened to that guy? I'm not sure which one he's talking about. Yes, we are co-hosts. I'm eating lunch. The start time is usually an awkward time of day for me. That's right, because you are 5 hours ahead. So Jonathan, like me, he needs time to eat. See, new format? Well, it's sort of a new format. And there's Barry Simon, the star of the meetup that's coming today. Good morning, Rick and all. Well, good morning, Barry. And I'm looking forward to seeing your meetup. I thought Milton was the star of the show. Well, that is true. When Jonathan is not here, Milton is the star of the show. He makes cameo appearances. Milton is the show's official mascot. Yes. And the thing is that Milton, if you look at my very first Live at 8 with Rick, that was Milton was attacking the camera. So the only reason why I did that, I started doing the show, and actually Jonathan was one of the reasons, and Jonathan is also the reason why I started Rick's Ride and Talk videos, where I ride my bike and just talk away, because he liked that. Obviously, Jonathan is not as mobile as someone like me because of his serious spine issues. The spine issues combined with failed surgery and all the other things that have happened. So he's not able to get around the way that he would like to. If he was otherwise healthy, in other words, I'm sure that if Jonathan had the mobility that I did, he would be everywhere. He'd probably be on his bike in all kinds of weather, out and about, going all over the place. But he has limitations, so he has to work with what he has. And yet, despite the limitations, he's still a champion. And again, this is the kind of people that I like meeting in the carnivore community. Now, let's talk a little bit about the carnivore community. Who's Max Heimer? That's the other one that Jonathan interviews. He interviews him during the week, and evidently Jonathan had changed the background, but for some reason, I guess the background didn't update on this live stream. But I'm sure he'll fix that eventually. I didn't go to Harvard, but I knew Cambridge. Yes, those are wormhole travel machines, and we're all alien hybrids. School style. My respect to Milton. Well, there you go. I'm not seeing everyone's comments. It depends on what the problem is. There's like 2 live streams. There's one for mobile and there's one for PC. And then on top of that, you have Jonathan's channel. So that's why I click every single comment on the live so everybody can see it. Sometimes there's a display that you can put up there where you see everybody's comments, but that's not activated, so I'm not going to worry about that. I prefer being co-pilot on lives. It's way easier. I get to ride while Steven drives the chat at 9 today. He is a host or pilot. I am co-pilot. I am not Robin to his Batman, though. Well, there you there you go. I don't know. I've heard rumors about Robin, but that's okay. I mean, if you're Batman and you're into that, that's good. Milton is just way too busy to be the star of the show. Bit of a diva, I think. Milton, I think, found a cockroach, so he's hunting the thing. These roaches here, they're like 2 inches long. Everyone knows I am Batman. And I am Duckman, which is different than Batman. Batman lives in a bat cave, and Duckman lives in a jungle with a duck pond. My daughter-in-law is due with baby boy, second grandchild in 5 days. I'll be heading to San Antonio, Texas with my mom to see the baby. Can't wait. And thanks to the carnivore diet, you can actually have fun with your grandchildren instead of being stuck in a rocking chair. And there we are. Cheers. What do you think about aliens, guys? Well, that's a good question. I think some people here are aliens. Plenty of illegal aliens here in Miami. Congrats, Peter, and enjoy family time. Okay. And what else do we have? Congrats, Papa Carnivore. There we are. I need to go. Lots of energy right now, so I'm going to use it to go for a walk. We'll see everyone later today. Thanks, Thomas. Maybe we'll see you on the live later, too. I'm glad that you're here. And enjoy your walk. And keep walking down your road of progress in a year. If you take the advice of some of our great people and you keep making adjustments, you're going to keep losing body fat, and you'll be an even bigger carnivore celebrity. Hi, Rick and Milton from Annabella the Happy Carnivore. Well, hello. I'll say hi to Milton. I'm sure eventually he'll come and let me know that he's here. Okay, I found the normal format. Yes, there are 2 of them. And thanks to Mannix, there we go. When I've been on with Kilts, we get the same thing. We get the 2 formats. Good morning, Annabella. And there's Thomas. And welcome to the Normie Terry. Well, there we go. Hi, beautiful Sandy. Aliens. Rick is not from here. Well, Planet Mopar, I guess that's an alien, right? But we're not lizard people. We eat the lizard people. Peter, love those G-babies. Yes. Grandchildren. I'll never have to worry about grandchildren because I've never had any children. So no one can ever call me grandpa. I will have a heart attack, and I'm just the same as someone who's never had kids. Up. What do we have here? Device is not connected. I think Jonathan is getting ready to join in. So, good morning, California, time to wake up. Well, there you go. I set the correct theme, but YouTube hasn't updated it properly. There we go. There is the correct theme. That look at that. This one is pretty cool. You'll notice. And Jonathan, with his attention to detail, as you can see, I don't know. I mean, I have my image in front of it, but I think if I change the view, I don't know if it'll up. Okay, we'll go there. But the background, yeah, see? There's Jonathan coming in. Okay. And there is Jonathan over here. And on this side is the Rick side. And it has a tag that says Rick. It even says 1968. If you look at it, Sunshine State. Somehow Jonathan found the old style license plate. All right. Where's Jonathan? Why is he not? It says device not connected. Okay. Jonathan's making adjustments to the view. All right. It's almost like I have my own team in the background here. Rick, little Calico, little Garfield, you are grandbabies. Milton of his kitty or your kiddos. Well, I guess if you count cats, I guess we're all technically carnivores, but they have tails and I don't. I woke up late this morning, 5 a.m. in California, just in time for Live at 5 is what I call this. Well, there you go. Good morning. Another John. There we are. And good morning from Coach Angela Mullins. Good morning. Glad that you are here. I guess you'll be at the meetup as well. Sully, wow, you are truly blessed. Yes, I agree with that. Production manager, Jonathan, checking in shortly. Well, there you go. See, I have my own qualified team in one person, and that's really great. Today, Rick and Milton, it's a wonderful day in paradise, Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Well, that's great. And, the thing is, if you live in a place that you like it, that's great. Everyone says that Miami's paradise. It is not. Miami is basically a glorified sauna. You pay a lot of money to live here, so you can roast every day if you don't pay your electric bill. Without a power grid, Miami ceases to exist. So if you want to get rid of Miami, all you have to do is knock out the power grid, and within days, this place will be a ghost town. If the power grid was knocked out, let's say from a foreign attack, and they were not able to repair it for a month, I'd be the only one left in this neighborhood, I think. It would be just me, Rick, sitting here in a broken down house, running a generator powered by wood gas or poop gas, and just eating meat, because that's what Rick does. Are you doing good? All right. Connecting with nature. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about what's going on during the week. Now, as you know, there are many people out there that have lives. There are many people out there that post videos, and there is no way that anyone in this community could keep up with all of them. It is absolutely impossible. But I do get things. Found the right place. Only 8 people in their live. Much better. Yeah. The PC one always has more, but the other one is there for people who have the mobile devices. And India temples created. Okay. So you said you are smart and well educated. Well, this is somebody that really knows how to see a person. Obviously, yes. I mean, I only have a bachelor's degree, but I have a lot of practical education. Which you much successful, gotta go. Well, I appreciate you being here, and interesting theory about the aliens and the way that things work. But I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you will return, and I hope that you'll continue to listen whenever you can. Thanks for being here. Question: do you expect the cats to multiply even though they are related? I hope not. I'm still trying to get Miss Kitty fixed. I've had difficulty with her. I made an appointment for Wednesday to take her to the Cat Network. And guess what? She disappeared. All Wednesday, I couldn't find her. And Thursday morning, there she was asking for food. And she's been here ever since. So we're going to try again for Monday or Tuesday next week. And as soon as I get the appointment, I got to be there between 7:30 and 8:30. I will stuff her into the cat cage, drive her over to the Meow Mobile, and hopefully they will remove the offending parts and turn her into an awesome little companion for Milton, who hopefully is going to be cuddly, and the two aren't going to rip each other apart. Because you know how cats are. They can be nice 1 minute and catty the next. Rick would figure out how to get his poop to run his AC. Well, some of the poop already goes in for cooking. So when I'm cooking food, the neighborhood cats and dogs and myself, as long with plant material, is fermenting in an IBC tote, and I light that for my poop gas. And by the way, I had someone tell me that I was crazy, but there's actually a device called the home biogas, which does the same thing. We got a thumbs up over here. Awesome. And let's see, hide down a runner. And to keep up to date with the latest live streams for your favorite content creators, check out John Together Strong's new website. There you go. You know, it's funny. I clicked on that website and I got confused. And I'm kind of a tech guy myself, but maybe it's changed. It seemed like it was incomplete the last time that I did it. And we have a good morning from John Together Strong. And we have a reminder again from Jonathan. All right. And that's always good. What about the kittens, Rick? Can't they fix all 3? Well, there's a limit, but I think they are ready for fixing, but the kittens are friendly. So what I'm going to do is try to get Miss Kitty fixed first. And then, because I'll have my hands full taking care of her, and then maybe I'll get the kittens fixed after that. Well, anyway, let me have a little water break here. Okay. Some channels have morning coffee, but here we have morning water. You know what my mom always said? Don't chew ice. It'll break your teeth. All right. I wish my cat were as big as a medium-sized dog. Well, it'll be great until they do a Milton and turn into a wildcat, and then you have your hands full. When Milton went wild, it was terrible. Watch your video when I took apart the charger and explained the crisis suspension. Pretty cool. Well, I'm glad. It's a shame I had to cut it up. Kittens can have kittens around 7 months old. Well, the kittens were born around April, 4 months. So we will get those little beasts fixed. They're friendly. Miss Kitty Jr., Miss Calico, she's super cute. She comes up to me, meow, meow, gets her paws up. Hey, where's my food? And little Morris or little Garfield, he roams around, and they play with each other, run all over the place. Kittens are awesome. But I got to get Miss Kitty fixed because otherwise there's going to be more kittens, and I don't need more kittens. Anyway, okay. Now, let's talk about some carnivore-related content. As you know, I've been carnivore since 1983, although I did go plant-based in 1993. Sort of the 10-year anniversary of carnivore, I was going to prove to everyone that plant-based doesn't work. And speaking of plant-based, if you're familiar with that annoying Mick the Vegan, it made another anti-carnivore video, which is full of misinformation and the typical crap. While he tries to sell his products, he's complaining about the meat industry financing carnivores. Now, what's going on with the meat industry is, if you don't know, Tyson Foods is closing down meat packing plants. Why are they doing that? Because the supply of meat is not great enough to keep them open. So they're just shutting down meat packing plants. We have drought conditions in a lot of the United States. It's going to be an amazing machine when you get it all put together. Yeah, the Chargers are awesome cars. Still have Doberman puppies available. 2 girls are left. Okay. Little Calico Garfield are females. Well, Garfield is male, and the Calico is the female. I smile and imagine one of the future kids having a cat body and a head that looks like Rick's. Immaculate kid. That's funny. All right. I listened and changed nutritionist suggested. Now, basically, there are meat plants, meat packing, meat processing plants that are shutting down because there's just not enough supply. And why is there not enough supply? Well, that's because, for example, here in South Florida, the last cow pasture was destroyed 3 years ago and replaced with warehouses. You have cattle ranches that either don't have enough water to support animals, or if they happen to be in a fertile and well-watered place, they're being turned into housing developments, apartment complexes, data centers, and all this other crap. And it's really kind of funny because if you think about it, there's really no, they say, well, cows destroy the environment, and yet they bulldoze a cow pasture and they replace it with a data center that produces a ton of emissions. So it's not really an environmental thing. It's a monetary thing. The system is run by banksters, and banksters love debt because debt is what makes them rich. So anything that produces debt, they're going to love, whether it's plant-based agriculture, which has a lot of debt. Cattle ranching does not have a lot of debt. I mean, think about it. What do you really need to have a ranch? You need land, you need water, and sunlight. Maybe fertilizer from time to time, but cattle themselves produce fertilizer. They walk around the pasture, they eat grass, and what comes out the other end? And then you add water, and that's it. Every now and then, you have to go out in the pasture, maybe mow it down when they eat unevenly. You may have to trim along the fence lines. You have to maintain the fence. You might have to maintain their water source. But there is no less impactful activity than cattle ranching. In some places, the land isn't even improved. They just let the cattle walk around and eat and poop. And he isn't handing a tissue. Well, there you go. So, lazy carnivore, yes. That is why I avoid all factory-made, all processed food. They are poison. Well, they may not be poison, but they're not ideal. Good day, Papa. And hi to Patricia. 40 here. I'm feeding 40 here. The cats, yeah, they tend to multiply very quickly. So we're going to get the cat situation under control. Yes, I saw his video. He knows me and is a great guy. Okay, so we'll go to the comments. Now, what's happened with a lot of the cattle supply is that years ago, when things got a little tough, they sold off their cattle. And unlike kitty cats and chickens and pigs, cows don't reproduce very quickly. They're large animals. Cattle, they exist by being large and being able to sort of work around predators. And again, there are no predators. Well, there are technically, but on a well-managed ranch, predators are not an issue because the human beings keep the predators away. They either kill them off or they make conditions where they can't thrive. I think of carnivore as my non-retirement plan because I feel so well and do not want to retire. Well, there you go. Anyway. With all the problems that we have in animal-based agriculture, they're all basically coming from one source, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve exists to keep the banking system liquid, as they say. In other words, to keep the money available so they can make bad investments and get away with it. And data centers are the worst investment ever. While they do serve a function, they don't create enough income to pay for the expenses. I watched your recent from CC Target. Longer bike rides are awesome. I used to live in Tampa as a kid, so love seeing the Florida scenery and learning about the history of that area. Yeah, and around here, history is considered a bad thing. So anything that's historical has to go. Every time they redevelop a property, they eliminate everything and start over because that's the best way you can scam people. You promise them things that don't exist. That's it. I'm going to live out everybody. I say to people, well, that's usually the first person to die, but whatever. Now, when you lived in a place like I did, and you grew up surrounded by cow pastures, and people used to laugh. They told my parents when they moved here in 1960, well, you live out with the horses. You live in the boondocks. And there is still a piece of horse country left. Thankfully, some of the people who lived here in the 1980s, they got together and they got the zoning in such a way that you can't build on less than 2.5 acres. And what ended up happening is it remained as landscape nurseries. Pronounced death sentence on me. And nothing I could do. And you have the horse farms and you have all the other things. And now they have people out there using their landscape nurseries and horse farms as party places because they built so many apartments and small homes. People don't have a yard. And human beings, believe it or not, actually do like to go outside. Downtown Miami has been turned into a vertical prison with these black, white, and gray prison blocks that they call high-rises. They call them luxury living, but they're just a step up from the TGK prison. The only difference is in the prison, they don't charge you rent, and you have very little space. But they basically have the same decor, although they're built pretty shoddy compared to the prison. And your neighbors, while your neighbors probably are criminals, they're not obvious about it. Instead of going and robbing and attacking people, they're just using crypto scams and investment scams to steal from everybody. So it's kind of the same thing. And one of these days, when I get the time, just for the fun of it, I'm going to take my phone, I'm going to go to downtown Miami, and I'm going to make fun of the place because it is a joke. What's happened to that area is pretty bad. But again, in Miami-Dade County, which is where I live, you cannot find a cow anymore. They have gone 100% extinct. If you do see a cow, it's going to be somebody's pet because there are no cattle anywhere in this county. And in Broward County, there are no cattle. Gone. Development has destroyed them all. There's no cattle in Monroe County because it's the Keys. There's never been cattle there. But so in the Tri-County area, the nearest cattle you'll find are in Palm Beach County. And I would say that in 10 years, they're going to be gone too. So they have destroyed all the pasture. There is nothing left. And as late as the 1990s, I could walk to a cow pasture. But after the 90s, gone. Because every time that the Federal Reserve creates more liquidity, more funny money enters the system, it goes around the world It goes into illegal operations like drug smuggling and crypto scams and all the other crap they have now, and it comes right back to Miami. Miami is the Dubai of the United States. It is a place that cannot exist on its own in the form that it's in. The millions of people that live here would not exist if the electricity was simply turned off. That's all it takes. This place has one single point of failure, and that's the power grid. If for any reason, nuclear war, EMP, coronal mass ejection, yep, and we have somebody dropping in. Is it Jonathan? Yes, it is. There is Jonathan. All right, let's see here. There we go. Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm right, thank you. Just had my lunch. I will sort out. Actually, it looks fine as it is now. Brilliant. I spent a while. Basically, I was trying to put on the video feed. I was yesterday, so it comes up like this. So it only shows good if there's two people on the screen, basically. The other options are rubbish, though.
Yeah. You know, some of those features they add, they just don't add anything to it. That's the problem. Let's see.
No, it's become so customizable now. It's almost a bit awkward, like a little bit overwhelming even for me. So.
Oh, somebody's asking about my truck. Well, my plan is to get the engine in the truck, but I haven't had time. I've been so busy working. And I had to work on an air conditioner this week on Miami Beach. It was up on the roof in this little tower. It was hard to get to. And I guess lightning must have blown it up. So there went another day. North winds. And we'll talk about that. So what you up to, Jonathan? You had your lunch. Are you going to be doing anything special today?
Yes, I've had my lunch today, done some client work. Been on some YouTube feeds and things like live streams. What we're going to be doing today is in actually 10 minutes time I've got to go again for a podcast interview for I can't remember the name of the channel, but I'm going to go on that. That'll be about an hour. I'll probably rest for about 2 minutes and come back on. So I'll be on here for another 10 minutes. I'll be on again at about 3:30 roughly. So yeah, you'll be fine. Be good.
Excellent.
Well, I'm glad that you're doing today. I know you're finishing earlier.
Yeah, your audio kind of comes in and out. Hopefully, it's not an internet issue. But no, I'm doing pretty good. After this, I'll be watching the live stream that Barry Simon will have, and I'll probably be working on my Bobcat. I still haven't put that exhaust pipe on, and I got one bolt that's stuck on there. And I've even been thinking about seeing what it'll take to fix my big Bobcat. That's another issue. Hopefully, my audio is coming in all right. But I had an interview. I don't know if Jonathan.
Clear.
Okay.
I've saved that interview. I've not watched it yet.
Okay, I was going to say if you had watched it. I got a lot of good comments on it. I thought it came out well. I always see myself as being the crazy man of the community. I mean, really, compared to everybody else.
So bear with me, Rick. I'm going to just switch Wi-Fi.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. The Wi-Fi can be very frustrating. Terry says hello to Jonathan. That's good. Oh, way too much makeup. I hate makeup. This is one of the reasons I don't like Miami women. They're too much makeup. That's why I joke about it. I said, you know what? I'd rather have a boyfriend than a girlfriend the way the women are here. Carnivore has not only cured my main physical and mental health issues, helped me to lose 100+ pounds. Yeah. And I got the privilege of riding with Peter and going to the meetup, and everything he says is true. There's Christy. Hello. All right, let's see. Real talk. The guide's still being built. We're even wrestling the phone companies to get the go live notifications pushing out right. It's close, not done yet. Okay. So yeah, your website. I'm the builder. I only see the engine room, so I need your eyes. Take a look. Tell me what's confusing or what you'd want. Search John Together Strong. Your feedback shapes it. Yes, as Jonathan posted the link earlier, we need to check out, and that way it gives us a schedule.
I sent John Together Strong some feedback this morning, actually. So I trialed through the whole website, every page I could look at, and all the obvious things to me, which are like, you know, when you see someone's done something, you're like, I could, well, not necessarily me, but that could be done a bit better somewhere, you know. So I just gave him some little, maybe like 5, 6 different ideas. The thing is, when you're creating, especially when it comes to usability, you're using it as you a user. You don't realize that you might be completely different user to someone else. So some people like this kind of heading, some people like that kind of heading, some people like these contrasted colors. So it's very subjective, but you know, I can look at a lot of things quite well, I think, sometimes, and sort of analyze things and see what would work a bit better. So hopefully it takes on my suggestions. We'll see.
That's it. And Jonathan has a lot of experience with setting up these, so that's a good source of information. I'm assuming that after watching one of your videos, iguanas are too fast to catch in warmer weather, including ducks. No, you can catch them as long as you're in the canal or if you're near a tree. The trick is if they're within 6 feet of the water, you're not going to get them. Even if you shoot them, they're still going to go in the water and you'll lose them. You'll end up with a gator eating your meal instead of you. But when they're away from the canal, I get them every time. I've caught them when they try to go through the fence. You can watch one of my videos. I was riding my bike and I grabbed him by the tail and I took him home. And he was delicious. Rick is faster. That's the other thing. I need to make, when it gets not so hot, because it's been like 90 something degrees, when it gets to a reasonable temperature, I'm going to do what Dr. Sean Baker did and make sprinting videos. Because even though I'm not a muscle dude like Baker, you would be surprised at how fast I can go. I mean, you think about it, some of these sprinters that are skinny, they can go pretty fast. And for someone that's almost 60, it's scary how fast I am. Oh, look, Aaron's here. Good morning, everyone. I've been listening. That's great.
It's sprinting.
What's that?
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's the mental acuity to sprinting. So like a skinny guy doing a sprint 100, but ultimately it comes down to how their brain works, how their brain fires their muscles, whilst also not having like levers, like limbs that are too far out of the realm of being coordinated. It's funny, Rick. When I was younger, I wasn't the fastest in the school until I actually matured and sort of grew up towards like the age of like 14, 15. Before then, I was like in the middle of the road sort of thing. All the fastest kids in the school were always the short kids in the school.
Right.
I think they picked up their dexterity, and you know, there's less of them to sort of worry about. They've got more connection to their body parts. That's what I think it was.
Yeah. That's a good point. Getting rid of cow farms. People are waking up to how beef heals the body, so they're making it scarce and raising prices, so we're forced to eat duck food and stay sick. Could be. I still think it's just they can get more debt out of a space when it's an apartment building than when it's a cow pasture. It's Rick is running in the corner. Something is happening and you should run too. I always say that.
Yeah.
I laugh when I see these people, these fitness guys out there running or jogging. To me, it doesn't make sense. You know, here we have someone. Depressing. Yeah, here we have someone that I don't think you run, and yet look at him.
I'm not gonna run. I can jog on the spot in the pool. That's about it.
See?
Yeah. The most intense exercise I can do is holding onto a treadmill. You know. High incline at 25%, so it's steep, and just walking up it. That's the only way I can generate enough intensity without hurting myself. Because on the bike, for example, I can cycle a stationary bike. The thing is, if I'm pushing a bit harder on it, it aggravates my hips and lower back. So it's like it's a waste of time. So yeah, I'm pretty much I can't swimming.
Up, we're losing you.
Yeah, if I kick my legs when I'm spinning, it all just aggravates my back and hips. So I've got to basically just swim just my arms. So yeah.
There's Susie Marsh. Well, this is the thing, and this is what I tell everyone. You know, people say, well, when it comes to fitness, I said, well, everybody has a different goal. Maybe some people, they just want to be able to get up and move around and do things for themselves without pain. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to be fit. But on the other hand, we have Jonathan, who is a bodybuilder and deals with serious, is disabled. He is disabled because of the spine issues. And yet he's able to maintain a championship physique without the running, without all the cardio, by using intelligent diet and intelligent exercise technique. How many people have those qualifications? Very few.
Yeah, the diet is the big thing, Rick. So, if you're a bodybuilder, you'll be excellent because you know how to train hard. You'd think things methodically. You've got a bit of like an engineering sort of mindset, so you can sort of think, well, that the physics of that doesn't really make sense if I'm trying to do this, so I better move it that way. So, I think if you're a different person, a slightly smaller body, shorter body, you'd be a good bodybuilder.
Well, you're right. And the thing is that I tended always to have, I had several friends that were into bodybuilding, and we tend to think almost alike. The thing that we never could understand, people start working out and they think that if they push themselves really hard and they throw weight around and they do all these crazy exercises, that they're going to get bigger. And invariably, every single one of them, shoulder injury, the knee, all these injuries they get, they're over there squatting huge amounts of weight and they end up just killing themselves. Instead of doing it with control, they lose control. They're not controlling the weight. The weight is controlling them.
Yeah, too right, Rick. That's modern bodybuilding. Well, and any bodybuilding of any era in a nutshell, for sure. But I've got to go now, unfortunately, because those 10 minutes have gone really quickly. But I'll be back as soon as I physically can. Just bear in mind, I'll be doing the podcast for an hour.
Okay.
So probably need stuff. I'll come back.
All right. I'm going to attach a link so people can join in. And then when you get back, hopefully the Wi-Fi will be working better. But again, Jonathan brings up a good point. If I would have had a different shape, if I would have been shorter, I probably would have been a good bodybuilder. But I'm not. My physique is not designed for bodybuilding. So I always say, I just have to have bodybuilder friends if I want to have muscles, and I can just look at them. It's like, well, okay. But in my case, I have enough strength to do what I need to. I had to install window units yesterday, and I was carrying these things back and forth from the van, bringing them up and installing them and replacing it. And, oh, do you need help? Do you need help? No, I don't need help. I can handle it, no problem. I can control the weight. They're not that heavy. They maybe 100 pounds maximum, but it's a bulky box. But with my long arms, I can reach the box. So even though I don't have the strength to press the weight, I have enough strength to carry it around and climb upstairs. So it all depends on the person. Yeah, that was the whole thing. No pain, no pain. They used to say no pain, no gain, which is silly. Still got a sore throat, but feeling better. I had to pick up 2 kids at school yesterday. One had a fever, and I got a friend of mine. He's sick. 2 other people I know are sick. I got some kind of flu about 3 weeks ago, but I got over it in a couple of days. And of course, here's Joe. Bless you all. Sending you good vibes and loads of love for a speedy recovery. We're always glad to have you here. And Jonathan, I know the 2 of you, really good friends, and it's really nice. I think that since he's been with you, Jonathan has been even happier, and that's a good thing. All right. Let's see. It's almost like he's from across the pond. Yeah, right? Okay. So let's catch up with these comments, and I'm going to put a link to this so that you can join in if you like to at any time. I used to be in the gym with many bodybuilders, spotting from time to time. Yeah, it was great. And I've done that too. Even though I'm skinny, you don't have to be as strong as they are to help with spotting. And, they're trying to get their maximum bench, and tall, skinny guys standing over them, trying to help them bring it back up. Again, it's kind of a team effort, in my opinion. It seems only other guys who tell me sometimes I look great because they think they do not. Also, the married women seem to acknowledge my physique, not the single ones, whatever. Well, that's because they're tired of their lazy and unattractive husband. And there's really no excuse for that. And this is another thing that I say about Jonathan. If someone who is disabled has serious pain and structural issues can be a professional bodybuilder, what is the average man's excuse for being lazy and being unhealthy? Why? What is the reason? There is no reason. Really bad connection with Jonathan. I guess it must be his Wi-Fi. He eats a lot of eggs. Okay. You're remarkable. Yeah, remarkable woman. Well, there we are. Love to see you, beautiful Sandy and wonderful Susie. Well, there you are. And I haven't had any woman comment on my physique lately. Oh, well, I guess I've got a bit of a dad bod because I'm skinny, but have a bit of a belly. Well, you can work on that. And Peter, if you had time, maybe you should join the gym. Maybe you should get some of Jonathan's advice. You never know. You might be able to get rid of that stomach. Now, luckily, I don't have a stomach. I don't think anyone said that I have a dad bod. I've had people call me a coconut palm, but, and I do have pretty good sized coconuts, but we won't talk about that. Apologies for the connection issues. I've tried 3 methods. Well, you'll get it. Grandpa bod is the proper term. Okay. Let's start wearing a fake wedding ring so single women come on to me. Well, that's not a bad idea. As you can see, I don't wear rings. I'm an electrical engineer. We are pretty much against any jewelry. Question, do either of you have suggestions for leg cramps? I've never had leg cramps, but I guess when Jonathan returns, he can give you suggestions. I know people talk about electrolytes. Some people say just drink enough water, but Jonathan will probably put a comment in the show. Sorry, I had to leave at another podcast now. Well, there we go. And I'm glad that Jonathan is out there being interviewed. I think that Jonathan is underrated in the carnivore community. They tend to concentrate on certain celebrities, and I really don't understand why Jonathan is not more well-known in the carnivore community, because I do believe that he is one of the top carnivores. He's been carnivore more than 5 years. He's a bodybuilder. He's dealt with serious issues, and he's still progressing. The vegans, on the other hand, they just talk a bunch of crap all the time. The gym is a great way to meet health-minded people, get you another community. That's another thing. If you want to meet women, why not go to the gym? And again, I hate gyms because I don't like exercising indoors. But on the other hand, if you had a choice between going to a bar or restaurant or going to a gym, I'd go to the gym every time. Because if I was looking for a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever you like, I think the gym is probably the best place to do that. Dr. Baker said to get water and gulp it real fast. Interesting. Okay. Jonathan is becoming a celebrity. We all need to support and share his info. Well, I do all the time. I've had people criticize me because, why are you always complimenting Jonathan? Well, because I just do it. What am I supposed to do? Should I complain about a person's faults, or should I mention when someone's a good person? Not every good person is going to be 100% nice all the time, but that's something that it comes with a person. It's like a balance. And I think with Jonathan, the good is way over here and the bad is so tiny I don't even see it. Rick, your videos and lives are a great way of teaching outside the classroom. You have so much knowledge of so many subjects. Yes, and you're one of my best commenters. You're always complimenting me. I appreciate that. Rick, last time I went to the gym, all I saw girls videoing themselves and the outfits. Oh my, don't get me started. Well, you must have gone to Planet Fitness. Yesterday, my friend Kathy said when left the car, she forgot her water and did not drink much during the day. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. Let me get the link, and I'm going to go ahead and paste this to the chat, so anybody that wants to join in can feel free to do so. But I can't comment on Jonathan's live stream for some reason because it didn't link me. So I'm going to have to put it in my YouTube. So if you want to join in, you're going to have to go to my YouTube channel and look for the comment, which I am going to pin once the comments stop coming in, because they're coming in all of a sudden now. And I will pin the comment. And then that way, if you want to join in, head over to my channel, because I don't have access to Jonathan's channel. A little technical issue. You never know what's going to happen here. All right. So let me keep going through the comments. And there is the link We are so doomed today that we don't know if we are thirsty or not. Okay. People constantly carrying a small bottled water like a life support. Little crackling sounds. You know, have you ever seen me ride my bike? Have you ever seen me drink water on the bike? No. I have been on 2-hour long bike rides in 95 plus degree heat, sweating like a you know what in church, and I haven't drank any water. And then what did I do? I took another 2-hour bike ride back home without drinking water, and I did not get cramps and I did not pass out. But again, you're talking about someone who's been carnivore for 4 decades and more. I think for the average person, and I don't remember if it was on a Kilt's live stream or somebody else's live stream, but somebody had brought up a point that the way that you grow up, the way that you develop affects you for the rest of your life. It affects how much fat you have, how much muscle you have, how your body responds to different things. So if everyone tried to imitate what I do, I don't think they would get the same results. You're not going to be 58 years old with no gray hair and lean and eating whatever you want, having no aches and pains. This is really odd, but it's because I grew up in a house in a part of the world that doesn't exist anymore. Today's Miami is not what it was in the 70s and 80s. Eating high fat, high calorie, meat heavy foods. And that's pretty much, nobody else did that. Everybody else I know was eating low fat. You drink before biking, Rick, or do you do it after eating? I drink a lot of water when I'm at the house. And I think when I went bike riding yesterday, I had 2 of these glasses of water. Before I left, I had eaten a lunch. It was about noon, about 12:30. I often ride my bike at the hottest part of the day. I was riding my bike when it was 100 degrees, if you remember, on Tuesday. Because what I do, generally when I work, I tend to work the late shift. So like on Tuesday in the morning, I had to fix a washing machine. So I worked in the morning. And I finished that around 11:30. Then I started cooking lunch. And I ate lunch. And right after lunch, and by the way, I had heart attack chicken. I had 4 pounds of heart attack chicken. And then I went for my bike ride. And that's when I made that video. I think I went to the store. I don't remember where I went, but I did make the video. And then later on, I had to work. I've seen your bike rides. They get nauseous. Slow down. I actually go pretty slow. You do not want to see me when I'm going fast. That old bicycle I have has bad bearings. It has a wobbly crank. The chain is messed up. If I try to power into it, the chain will come off, and sometimes it locks up. So, but when I have a good bike, I am dangerous. My cyclist friends, and one of them is a vegan, they constantly sip water and juice. They have snacks. They stop every so often. A lot of them, you know where they like to go? They go to the Starbucks coffee over there on Sunset, and they hang out there. We had a trip one time. We went to downtown Miami on the bikes, and they got on their skinny tired, high speed, $2,000 or $3,000 bikes. They wear that stupid gay spandex crap, which I can't stand that. I wear this. So I wear my button-down shirt with undershirt, pants. You'll never catch me wearing that tight crap. I am not into that. I'm not a speed cyclist. So anyway, we get on the bike. They're leaned over, they got the pedal in the bike, aerodynamic. They got their helmets on. I'm sitting upright, riding down there with my, handlebars and whatever. They go way ahead. They're gone. Next thing you know, I see all the bikes over at Starbucks, and they're like having their coffee. Okay, fine. So I say, hey, what's going on? Okay, enjoy your coffee. And I start riding. I'm riding away. And I get to the South Miami Metro Rail station. I get up on the trail. I'm riding the trail. Well, here they come, pedaling away like crazy. We're going down there. And then when we get to, they pass me up, gone. I'm just pedaling away, stopped to look at the native plants. I actually stopped to talk to one of the guys that was doing the landscaping on the underlined trail. Anyway, about halfway there, guess what? They stop at the Einstein Brothers donut shop. and they have some kind of bagels or whatever those things are, the duck food. So I see the cycles over there. I go in there. Hey, what's going on? Oh, we're having something to eat. You want something? Like, where's the beef? Where's the beef? I make a joke like that, and they're like, okay, whatever. I get back on the trail. I ride down to downtown. Pretty soon I'm over there by Government Center, and they're nowhere in sight. So I do my sightseeing, and I look around, and sure enough, here they come again. And we go through this all the time. The funny thing is, I usually get there first, even though I ride leisurely. I didn't have anything. Now, since we went downtown, when I went to Government Center, I drank out of the water fountain, and that was it. And then I was joking about the chickens because the place is loaded with wild chickens. There's chickens everywhere. I said, you know what? I'd love to have some chicken. And it was morning. I mean, we do our cycling generally between October and April. After that, it's just too hot. So I don't do it. And they may do it. I don't do it. No electrolytes, no water, nothing. And then we do our sightseeing, whatever. So we're going to go here. We're going to go there, blah, blah, blah. Then it's back on the trail and back home. And it's the same thing. On the way back, I just ride. I don't even stop because I'm going home. I get home, and about half an hour later, the phone rings. My friend, hey, Rick, did you make it home? Yeah, I've been here half an hour. Oh, okay. They just got home. And again, it's different. They stop different places. You know, it's a whole different thing. But they ride like crazy, and then they have to stop to refuel. I just keep going, you know, whatever. That's the Rick way. We're relaxed. We enjoy the ride. And you are handsome. Well, Jonathan is handsome. Yes, I agree with that. And there is John, Carnivore Teacher Alpha. John Laspina. Good morning, Rick. Have a great Saturday and stay cool. Well, thank you. And again, anyone that wants to join in and say hi, the link is in my chat. I don't know if it went in both of them. Maybe it didn't. But it's in the one, I think, for PC. Let me just double check. Yep, the one for PC. The StreamYard link is there. If you are courageous enough to drop in, you can do so. And where's Dr. Kiltz? He always says he's going to drop into my live. Let's see if he pops in. If you're listening to me, or you know someone that is listening, why not drop into Rick's live stream? You say I never invite you. I always do. Everyone's invited. Everyone is welcome, unless you are a snail or, you know, one of those strange people. I tell my teenage daughter that Starbucks is her bank because she deposits so much of her small money there. It's dumb. Yes, I will never understand Starbucks coffee. Oh my, Rick, you kill me. Yeah. You know what I'll do the next time that we do that? I'm going to make a video of it. I should have done it before, but I didn't. You can see my cyclist friends. It's terrible. Between those ridiculous outfits, and they love to ride like on the street, and they get out there, and it's like Mitch was complaining about the cyclist. They're riding on the street going fast, and I'm on the sidewalk hitting bumps, water meter covers, coconuts, all the other stuff. But I just feel safer. How I ride a bike is cool. Standing up on my $2,000 self-build BMX on the sidewalk. Well, that's right. I used to like my BMX bikes. You are a lone wolf, my friend. Well, I appreciate that. What's the point of exercise fueled by bagels? Exactly. You know, do I want to look like some skinny, funny person in spandex? Or would I rather look like this guy over here? That's fueled by meat. That's what I would rather look like. Now, obviously, with my build, I'm not going to look like that. But on the other hand, I don't think I look too bad. I mean, I might pass for a vegan, but I have a better attitude than a vegan, and that's it. My friend who's an avid cyclist explained that he does not know why he gets so hungry and devoured a large pretzel at the stadium when his brain turned off. You know, a pretzel to me, it just seems like duck food. When I mentioned his carb loading for cycling, and I don't do carb loading because my cycling is for fun. I'm not trying to win any kind of contest. So I'm not out there trying to be the fastest cyclist in the world because I'm not. And I do a lot of off-road cycling, which they don't do. They got those skinny they have a tire. I think it's called a gator skin, which I laugh because if I had a gator skin, I'd put it on the seat, not on the tire. but the skinny little pizza cutter bicycle tires, and they have these plastic aerodynamic things. They can go like 40, 50 miles an hour on a bicycle. And I joke about it. I said, if I want to go 40, 50 miles an hour, I'm getting in my truck, because I ain't worried about going fast on the bicycle. I'm worried about when that coconut rolls in front of me and I hit it and I go flying and I end up being ripped apart on the road. And that spandex? No, we're not doing no spandex. Believe me, aerodynamics is not part of my cycling. I would rather go down a dirt road full of iguanas with my bicycle in a basket with big fat tires on it and riding along and bumping through all the holes. That's my kind of cycling. Rick's cycling goes over curbs, goes over parking barriers, takes shortcuts everywhere, through bushes, whatever. Think about a dirt bike, but a bicycle. That's Rick cycling. Not that on the road spandex with these funny looking helmets with the little thing on the back. It looks so stupid. It looks like a duck with its feathers missing. Unbelievable. But again, I have cyclist friends like that. That's why I never call myself a cyclist. I'm going for a ride. I'm cruising on my bicycle. I'm not trying to break a speed record. Sugar makes you hungry. Carbs make you fat. Yeah, right? And you know what? I never, ever get hungry. Never. Are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry. But if you shove a steak in my face, I'm going to eat it. I don't care. It's like people say they always have room for dessert. I always have room for steak. You can't stop me from eating a steak, even when I'm full. Funny thing, Jonathan, I was into bodybuilding myself back in the day. They nicknamed me Arnold Schwarzenegger. Stopped 23 years ago and lost most of my size, but I remember it well. Well, there you go. And again, it takes, you have to maintain it. In order to be a bodybuilder, whether you're enhanced or not, it takes constant maintenance. It's like an antique car. If you want your classic car to look good, you got to maintain it. If you leave it out in the field like my friend did with mine, it just turns to crap. Entropy always wins in the end. But we can fight it for now, but it eventually wins. The Hazab tribe drinks like a handful of water from a dirty pond and runs for 6 hours. Well, there you go. And do they look like bodybuilders? No, they look more like Rick, don't they? Aaron, good morning. Well, there we go. That's what Gary Fetke says. Sugar makes you hungry. Carbs make you fat. Seed oils make you inflamed and sick. And you won't find any of those in my kitchen. Rick, he has surgery, then traveling here. Okay, so that is kilt. So he's busy right now. I think we are more dehydrated now because of all the toxic stuffs people invented. LED lights, car smokes, stress, maybe. I'm using incandescent bulbs, but there are a few LEDs around here. Sometimes I get that backwards. I have such respect for Gary Fetke. I've seen him a few times. And we have Jonathan's video consultation. And again, if you're looking for somebody to consult with, I would recommend Jonathan, because I don't think there's anyone that has more experience in the carnivore and bodybuilding space. Back to the gym. I'm dressed in my worst sweats, hat, headphones, and sometimes sunglasses, so I'm not bothered. Trust me, nobody looks or talks to me. That's normal for me. Nobody looks or talks to me unless they want to complain. And Linda Flanagan, hello, Rick, and everyone, well, hello. And see what else we got here. Becky was the first casualty in the medical establishment's war on carnivore, but he endured and recovered. Yes, that is true. Haha, Rick in a spandex. You do not want to see that. That's like if you got one of those skeletons in the biology lab, you put spandex on that, that would be Rick. At least I have my brother's attention on the sugar carb issue. Well, that, except for the coconuts, that's the part that sticks out, right? Cyclists and their helmets look like ducks minus their feathers and beaks. Yeah, it's so stupid. When I think of cycling, I think about transportation. I don't think about a competition. Wish my teenage daughter would dress like that when she goes to the laundromat by herself, dresses down. I tell her. She accuses me of being like the men I warn her about, whatever. The Hazab tribe They look lean, but wow, they have more fat in the abdomen because tourists feeds the duck food. Well, that's true. I don't have a gut. That's the one thing I can say. I don't have a six-pack, but I don't have a gut, and I am happy about that. I have between 12 to 14% body fat, and I know people say that I'm fat, but that is not fat. That is lean. You don't have to be single digit like a bodybuilder to be healthy. I tell you, the young ones I've seen at those gyms when walking around, I'm glad I raised my kids way back before all this BS started. There's a gym over here by the Winn-Dixie, and I look in the window and looks like just a bunch of regular people, but it's called a U-Fit gym. I don't know if that's like Planet Fitness, but something like that. I don't know. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, show me. There we go. Gotta go. Get out there early to get the work done before it gets too hot. Well, Ivy, glad you're here, and I'll keep an eye out for your lives. Keep making those videos. And Don Schonger, good morning. Well, good morning. Glad that you have dropped in. And again, if you want to join into the discussion, feel free to use the StreamYard link, which you can find in my chat. Now, let me double check, make sure that both of my chats are active. I'm going to go over here, and let me go over here, and let me go to my live stream. I download those 2 views. Okay, there's one, and there's the other. Okay, this is the mobile one. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to put in here the link because I can't do it from StreamYard. So we'll do this, and then we will pin it. There we go. So, and I have 10 people watching in the mobile version, and I have 47 in the regular version. So that's about 57. That's about average. That's great. So thank you, Jonathan, for creating 2 views that will allow people to maximize it. Okay, let's see here. All right. Okay. Now, when it comes to YouTube, I'm always looking for new channels. And if you haven't seen it, there is someone there named Luke who has a channel, the Functional After 40 or Functional AF. And he did an interview with me last week. It came out on Thursday. If you haven't seen it, I did put a link to it earlier. But again, you might want to check it out. I've gotten a lot of good comments on it. And I don't get too many of the interviews lately because I think I've run through the whole circuit. I've been on every carnivore channel with a few exceptions. There's actually one rather popular carnivore channel who has never invited me for a one-on-one interview. And we all know who that is. It is kind of strange, but oh well. I think I'm an embarrassment to the fancy channels. And there is Lance, North Dakota Carnivore. Good morning, Rick. Good morning. And I believe you are live at 11. And you can feel free to understand that I will be off probably about the time that you are live. So I'm going to try to get off of here sometime before noon because of Barry Simon and his live. I don't want to intrude on that. So if I do get off a little earlier and he's saying good morning to Jonathan, you can check out North Dakota Carnivore. And again, if you don't know who he is, check out his channel. This is another one of these weight loss success stories. I believe he's a year older than me. He was very overweight and very unhealthy. He's lost a lot of weight and he's active. He shows videos where he does his exercise. He's looking good and he's going to be around for a while for his family. So we're glad that you're here. It's a great interview. I watched it. Yes. And that was the one with Luke, who I think is an up-and-coming YouTuber. Listen to you once I drive. Well, hey, you can listen to me whenever you like. That's the beauty of it. And I don't sound too bad. My audio is usually okay. Thanks, Rick. Yes. One of the great things about my channel, which some channels, they get really snippy. They don't want you to promote your channel on their channel. And I have no idea why, because I believe in the network effect. If you can get enough people together with you, then basically you're going to be more resilient. If for some reason somebody doesn't like you and you lose a lot of subscribers. Now, I'll give you an example of that. we have Mitch, Old Guy Carnivore. His channel has, 50,000 or more subscribers. He'll get a surge of subscribers, and then a bunch of subscribers disappear. So it's like an up and down. It's crazy. But with my channel, I average about 2 new subscribers per day. Now, that's not a lot. It'll take me forever if I ever get to be 50,000 subscribers, and I think YouTube will be gone by then. But I get a constant stream of viewers, just very, very slight, and I get new subscribers. I think what it comes down to is when people watch my channel, they realize, well, this Rick guy isn't too bad. I'm going to subscribe to his channel. And guess what? In all the years I've been on YouTube, you know what I've never said? I've never said to subscribe to my channel and like my videos. And I will never say that. That's the same thing that Mitch says with his. If someone says subscribe and like, they click off. And I don't do that, but I just find it kind of annoying. People tell you to subscribe and like, because the thing is, this is the way I feel. If you like somebody's channel, you don't want to lose them. We have so many channels on YouTube. I keep getting recommendations, for example, for farm channels. And I'm going to like the video if I like the video. And I'm going to comment on the video if I like the video. And then if I get a response from the channel owner, I'm probably going to subscribe. I'm not going to subscribe just because you tell me to like and subscribe. I'm not going to do that. I got too many subscriptions already. I got hundreds of subscriptions. I've been on YouTube almost 20 years. There's people that I subscribe to that don't even exist anymore. It's just, it's a little bit annoying, but that's the way that I think. So if I'm promoting your channel or if I'm talking about you, it means that we have a connection. That's the way that I work on YouTube. And I've always been like that. And I always will be until I get the heart attack and then I disappear. I always try to time lives when no one is on. That's what I do. I limit my life to 1 day a week. I don't want to do it every day. First of all, I can't because I work. But on the other hand, I don't see the point of it. Anyone that wants to communicate with me can do it on a day, or you could do it during the week in any of my videos that I upload. It's very difficult raising kids today. I see it with my grown kids with their children. I hope they instill the teachings I raise them with. Yes. And let's see here. Moving to college, taking a bunch of clothes and makeup. I secretly hope she adjusts eventually to t-shirts and sweatpants and no makeup. Yeah. This Rick guy is awesome and brilliant. Tribe helps each other. Yes, Susie, I agree. And I'm active. Now, I'm not going to do the exercise because I'll hit the fan and I'll probably hit Milton, and then I'll be ripped apart because, as Liz always says, Milton will rip your lips off. But I like your attitude, and I'm glad that you are a part of our community. And Mitch likes you too. He always plays his Mitch intro. Rick is Abe Lincoln of Carnivores. You know, the funny thing is, there's a guy that works at Harbor Freight, and I started to grow a beard for a period of time. And he says, you look just like Abraham Lincoln when he was younger. And I thought that was pretty funny. So I always thought I'd get one of those hats, but yeah, something like that. Lincoln was a character too. DS, that's so cute. Congratulations on your college kid. Good afternoon from Derbyshire, England. Well, Karen, good morning from Miami and good afternoon from the UK. That's great. Good morning from Lance to Aaron. This is just another chapter of the struggle and monetary burden. To me, I feel, well, that's what happens when you have kids, but people do it because they like it. Congratulations on her college. My advice, do not co-sign for a credit card for her. My daughter asked that for me. When I went to college, my parents gave me nothing. I went to Miami-Dade College down the street, and I went to FIU down the street. I did not stay at the college. I stayed right here in this house, and I commuted back and forth to college in my car and occasionally on the bicycle. Hello to Karen across the pond. I sent $11,000 a few weeks ago for the first of 2 terms for the first year. In January is up to her from here on. I'm not co-signing loans or credit cards. No way. That's it. If they're going to go to college and invest their time and they're going to invest money, hopefully they will study something that will have a payback. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. I mean, it's like if somebody wanted to study women's studies, you don't have to go to college to do that. You could just go to the gym. Probably a lot better and cheaper. Okay. So anyway, no one has dared to join in to the discussion. So we're going to keep talking. Now, I mentioned before, and I mentioned this since the beginning, when the carnivore diet trend started, my very first video was this time 4 years ago, August of 2022. And that was on the Joey Schwartz channel, which has pretty much disappeared. All the videos are gone. I don't even know if his channel exists anymore. This guy started in the carnivore community, then he went off the deep end. And what destroyed him, he was aligned with Barkay, just like Eddie Goki is aligned with Barkay. But you know what they say about the hand, you bite the hand that feeds them? He actually started becoming hated because he attacked the sacred cow of the carnivore community. And we all know who that is. That is Dr. Ken D. Berry. Everyone talks about Ken Berry, how he's such a great person. I started carnivore because of Ken Berry. Peter mentioned that he started carnivore because of Ken Berry. Another one, Edward Renner. Good morning. Good morning. Another one who is one of the early pioneers of the carnivore community is Butterbob Briggs. Now, unlike Ken Berry, Butterbob Briggs is not a celebrity that's unapproachable. He has a plant nursery. He reemerged on his channel lately, although he hasn't been that active in recent weeks. But basically, he left with maybe 15,000 subscribers, went away for almost 10 years, and then came back with over 100,000 subscribers. And Butterbob, in my opinion, is a good example of someone who discovered the carnivore lifestyle by accident, succeeded on it, then let it go because of life, and went back to being overweight. So this is someone that I would consider inspirational. Ken Berry turned it into basically a money-making operation. Ken Berry found a way to use his popularity to make money. Now, am I saying that Ken Berry is a scammer or a bad person? No, I'm not saying that. In fact, I think that Ken Berry has had to go through a lot because being a pioneer of the low-carb, keto, carnivore space and being a doctor led to a lot of personal problems. And you notice that a lot of the early carnivore doctors, for example, Sean Baker, they have gotten pushback from the medical system because the medical system likes conformity. The way that these things work is by limiting what people can say. It's a closed loop system. Basically, if you want to participate, you have to go through the credential requirements that they make you go through. It's like an initiation. It's like joining a fraternity. They make you do a lot of needless nonsense. They make the medical school unbelievably expensive, and they make it difficult to access. And then you go through all this process. So when you come out the other end, you feel like you've really made a big sacrifice. And now, because of that sacrifice, you go to the government, and then you have to make more sacrifices. So they give you the permission to put a title in front of your name, doctor. You don't want to lose that title because all those years of work and all that money, a decade of work and money and all this other stuff can disappear just because a group of bureaucrats says that you're not towing the line. And really what it comes down to is these personalities go out there and they make a point and they pay the price. But Joey, which was basically a kid that went through there and started interviewing people and started on the carnivore diet and started promoting it, he got a lot of interest because sort of that right thing at the right time. His channel was growing. He had probably 14, 15,000 subscribers. He then attacked Ken Berry. Part of it was because Ken Berry drinks coffee, and he believed that pure carnivore, eventually went to that raw carnivore thing, which, again, that I do eat raw meat on occasion, but I do not believe that raw carnivore is necessary to be a healthy carnivore long term because I don't eat raw meat all the time. The only time I eat raw meat is when I have access to large animals like cows You will never see me eat raw iguana. You'll never see me eat raw duck. You'll never see me eat raw chicken. It doesn't happen. And then these other people eating rotten meats, fermented meats, whatever. You're not going to see me doing that. I do eat some fermented plant material. In fact, last night I had a significant amount of sauerkraut because I haven't had any beef for a couple of weeks. And when I don't eat beef for a long time, my energy levels start to decrease. But I found that adding fermented plant material boosts it right back up, and I get right back to myself, because otherwise I'll start falling asleep. This is what happens to me. This is something I discovered by accident. It's not scientific. It's just something that I did. Love and pray for safety, my friend. Hopefully college will make her grow up fast. Sometimes they do. Female high school teachers, I remember seeing in and out of the school, access to plenty of cakes and other snackies too, obviously. What is it with women and carbohydrates? Women don't like steak for some reason. Where's our sweet Milton? Milton, he's probably asleep. I gave him a piece of meat. He wolfed it down, and he's probably fallen asleep. But around 10, 11 o'clock, he usually gets hungry again, and he goes to bite me. Cats don't fast. True carnivores don't fast willingly. I was around when this whole thing started, doing keto back then. Watched them all come up. Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Eric Westman saw the scene born. See? So you know the history of what was going on. And it really exploded after COVID. It was a battle. The censorship back then was brutal. And I watched every fight they went through. Got a video about it on my channel. But we need to check that out. That's really good. I wanted to make a video about the history of Carnivore Online. She can always use those credits as electives. Talking about college. Your daughter is an adult now. She will decide what she wants to do, what's best for her, and what is not good for her. Problem is, until someone's like 25 or so, they're not really mature. You do consume salted water? No. I drink water free of salt. I do not salt my water. I tell everybody I'm not a fish. But no, I don't drink salted water. Those girls are targeted. Friend group is her strategy. Sound good? Not the directionless party girls. Now, in terms of salt, I've had a lot of questions about how much salt I use. Okay. Here is my salt shaker. The only thing I salt is chicken. I don't salt beef. I don't salt pork. I do salt shrimp. What else? Well, sometimes I do. If I fry the shrimp, I salt it. If I boil it, I don't. And this container of salt will last me about a month. So if I fill this up with salt, that's how much I go through in a month. And that's it. And I never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, salt beef. I do not. I find it offensive. I see all these people eating steaks, putting salt on it. Even Dr. Baker, when he eats a steak, he puts salt on it. He rubs the steak around. He eats off a cutting board. I don't eat off a cutting board, and I don't salt my steak. Because I like beef so much, salt is never. You'll see my heart attack burger, no salt. However, I eat cheese, which has salt in it. I make yogurt. Now, yogurt is not salted, but there are electrolytes in yogurt from the fermentation process. So I do get them. And yes, I salt heart attack chicken heavily. Oh, I do salt pork rinds occasionally. Now, I have some cold pork rinds that I can chew on, but I don't salt those. And we have a question. Didn't Dr. Atkins have pushback in the 70s? Yes. In fact, my dad used to make fun of Dr. Atkins. It was actually the whole idea of Dr. Atkins that made me think about the heart attack diet in the beginning. And Brian Airy, morning, Rick and Milton. Well, good morning. Glad that you are here. And we're saying hello to everyone. Yes, but at the same time, I feel she's going to turn into me in the dorm room. The one with standards, expectation for things to be orderly. Okay. You can't control what they do when they're away from home. Actually, you can't control what they do at home either. The video is called Holding the Line, because that's exactly what we were all doing back then. Standing up for what we believed in through all the censorship. Nobody backed down. That's good. Amanda says, hello, friend. Yes, and you are here earlier and here. So you must be saying good morning to Brian. and she'll be fine. I survived some stupid college drinking. I never understood what was the appeal of drinking in college. I've always seen alcohol as sort of stupid. They call it booze for a reason. It's just dumb. Milton, you really got me good this morning, being all lovey-dovey. Milton is a surprisingly lovable animal. When he gets in one of his moods, he'll get right on top of you, stick his face right in yours, fill you with cat hair, and make you sneeze for hours afterwards. Thank you for joining our chair class on Wednesday. Love you all. All right. In fact, I'm thinking about my pork rinds. Let me see if those cold pork rinds are still in the refrigerator. I may have finished them up, but I'm gonna go check. Hold on a second. Actually, while I'm waiting, let me see if I can bring in my intro, because I always like to bring in the intro. And let's see here. Right. Okay, we got this over here, and we will do this. All right, let me do this, and we'll open it. Okay. Oops. Okay, hold on. Let's do it. There we are. All right. Well, this is all that I have left. I have a couple of pieces left of my pork rinds that I made and I put in the refrigerator. As you can see, they're pretty good. Now, where do I get pork rinds from? Well, when Winn-Dixie had that pork shoulder on sale, I was able to, I cut the skin off of it, I cut it in pieces, and I fry it up when I'm frying my chicken. Really good. Okay. All right. You booze, you lose. There we go. Nice to see you again. Well, I did see Leslie. You must be on Jonathan's channel. Pardon me, I'm chewing away on a pork rind. All right. Anyway. Over here. I will never understand my cyclist friends. They go and they have their bagel and biscotti, and I'm over here with pork rinds. One time I actually brought a bag of pork rinds to eat. So they went in there, and one of my vegan friends, she was like horror because I opened up a bag full of pork rinds. They're like, what is that? Pork rinds. And you should see everyone's like, pork rinds. And they're always trying to stay lean. They got to get on their bike and they got to carb load and ride their bike. And I'm eating pork rinds, riding a bike, a leisurely pace, and I'm skinnier than all of them. Oh. I like foods that give my mouth a workout. Delicious. How could anybody want a bagel? Ugh. A bagel? It's like eating a sponge. Disgusting. The only good thing about a bagel is the butter. Great picture, Rick. Well, thank you, Ryan. Which one? There's several of them there. I know a great lady who majored in dance. She's now a teacher. Well, there we go. We have a hello to John. Morning to Amanda. Homemade pork rinds. Great idea. Use them for a crust for carnivore pizza. Well, I have, but I normally use the chicken because it's a lot easier. I mean, what carnivore doesn't like pork rinds? They try to discourage you from eating pork. We got to go on the lion diet. I hate that term lion diet. I call it the lying diet. What people don't tell you, lions eat. You ever heard of a warthog? Yep. They love them. They're hard to get, though, because they fight back. But a lion will eat a pig. So, I don't know. Later, everyone needs to run. Well, John, thank you. Glad you were here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a good day to John from Brian. All right. I used to eat pork rinds as a snack early on in keto and then carnivore. I stopped eating it about 2.5 years ago. Well, the problem with them, for a lot of people, they can make you gain weight. They're high in fats, and they're one of those things that you can keep eating without thinking about it, like I'm doing now. There's only one left. They're loaded with fat. They're good, though. They always used to associate pork rinds with people in the South living in trailers and being overweight. That's not me. I don't live in a trailer. I'm not overweight. If I'm going to have a snack in between meals, I'm going to have a can of sardines or smoked oysters. There you go. Or a beef stick. I keep them in my locker at work and my pantry at home. Smart. I agree with that. That's a good idea. Great carnivore between meals. My friend, the cyclist carb loader, will never heed what I said about carnivore and his carb preference. That would be an impeachment of his whole health philosophy these last decades. He is pre-diabetic, in my opinion. Well, there you go. Isn't that ridiculous? They say, well, I eat healthy, and then they're diabetic. I'm like, healthy? You're not healthy. If you're pre-diabetic, you're not healthy, period. Oh, I love them, but they make me really ill. Well, it might be because you get the ones in the store. Some people do have a sensitivity to pork products, and I don't know what that is, but the way they raise the pigs. Now, some people raise the pigs in a more sustainable way. I hate to say it, but I've always made a joke. Like, well, humans and pigs are pretty close. So I guess the cannibals would say humans are a long pig. So I guess if you can eat pigs, if things get really bad, I guess you could switch to long pig, right? Never know. Okay. I was too hungry waiting for my pot roast to finish. Had a few pork rinds that tied me over. Well, they're gone now. I had a couple in there. Now I get my dish back. One of the things you'll notice about my refrigerator, I don't really use plastic containers. If I make pork rinds, I just put them And one of my dishes, you can see, here's another one that I used when I had my eggs this morning and my pork. I've eaten a lot of pork lately and chicken, but I'm going to have to start supplementing with wild meats. I need to contact my friend Tom down in Homestead and see if we can go squirrel hunting in the avocado grove. I can load up my freezer with squirrel meat. Squirrel meat is a good, sustainable, easy to get meat, and that's a good thing. I'm probably going to go completely off of beef the way that the economy is, so I need to find alternatives. One of the complaints I've had about carnivore is that it's for rich people, that they think they're going to eat ribeye steak every day like Sean Baker, and that's not it. You can be lean and diabetic. I've never known it. Yes, you can. I've actually seen them. You can be very thin because if you think about it, in a way, I think Dr. Kiltson mentioned this. If you're a fat person, you have a lot of extra body fat, that's a place your body can shove some of that extra blood sugar. And if you're a muscular person, you definitely have more place you can shove that sugar. So when you're skinny, there's nowhere to go except your bloodstream. Got to go, Rick. Time for training. Well, Terry, thank you for being here. I'll catch you on the next one. And Brian says, have a good day. Well, again, if anybody wants to join in, you can, but I haven't seen anybody come in, so I don't know what to say. All right, let's see here. The only red meat I eat now is ground beef and slow-cooked brisket. I can't even afford ground beef. It's like $7 a pound. I've shown you videos of what's in the store. It's nuts. You go to Publix, they say it's like $10 a pound for ground beef. Seriously? Since when was ground? I was getting ground beef for 99 cents a pound as late as 2021. What happened? Well, it's very simple. The central bankers printed trillions of dollars, distorted the economy, and now we have a beef shortage. Every time there's a problem, you can trace it back to the central bankers. Crazy. I think in the carnivore community, I'm the only one that talks about entropy and central bankers on a regular basis. No wonder YouTube hates me. I cover all the scandals. I put the salad plate over the soup bowl as a lid for leftovers to eat the next day, not plastic. There you go. Well, plastic lids are not a bad thing. I used to have them on my metal containers, but they all broke down and they were no good anymore. But a plastic lid is not a problem. Hey, Benno. Hi, Rick. Good to see you. Well, I'm glad that you are here, as always. Always appreciate dropping in and leaving a comment. But anyway, I know that I tend to scare people away, but if somebody does want to join in the live and you're on my channel, you will see the link pinned. And I'm looking at both of my channels. I got one here. The StreamYard link is pinned. So, and if I recognize you, I'll let you in. Otherwise, I'll have my finger on the button to kick you out if you start taking your clothes off or doing something weird. So, and that does happen from time to time. I don't know what it is. I don't know why anybody would even bother. But again, glad to have you here. Now, when the carnivore community thing started, as John Together Strong was mentioning, there was a lot of resistance against it. But like anything else, once enough people get involved, I think that some people might see it as a marketing opportunity. If I wasn't working, I would offer to jump on. Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people are busy, so that's fine. We'll join in 30 minutes. Have to get ready for a gig. Okay, well, that's fine. But anyway, one of the things that I've been saying since I started is that the meat supply is a point of failure. Just like I consider the power grid to be the single point of failure for Miami and all of Southeast Florida. If the power grid was cut off, Miami would cease to exist. Yes. And people laugh at me. Oh, no, it's not going to make any difference. I said, you watch. Every one of these high-rise buildings depends on the power grid. They talk about sustainable living. There's no such thing as a sustainable city. If you want to have a traditional city without a power grid, you can't do it in Florida. You can't. Cities did not develop in tropical regions. Now, in hot climates, think about in Latin America. Go to a traditional Latin American city. Go down to Cuba. There's still a lot of the old cities and towns from before they had electricity. And now a lot of them go without electricity. And a lot of those people can survive without electricity because their cities were designed before electricity existed. But Miami has developed with electricity. There has never been a time when any building in Miami existed that electricity was not in existence. Miami was nothing until the 1920s. Everything older than that has been wiped out. Even the little shacks that used to be around here that have been recently wiped out, they developed with electricity. Air conditioning started really in the 30s and 40s, but it didn't hit the general public until the late 50s. By the time they were building these homes, this house came with central air. And if you don't believe me, you can look at the cracked ceiling and you'll see. That's the air vent. That is the original air conditioning vent that the house came with. So by the late 50s, air conditioning was everywhere. And then schools, they started putting air conditioning in the schools in 1960. So everything built after 1960, every store, every school, every house, every living condition has air conditioning. And 1960 is when development really took off. So before that, people did live here. But again, if you bought a house like in 1950, you bought one of those $5,000 tropical estates homes. They came with a little extra outlet by the window. And what you would do, you would head over to your store and you would buy Frederick or Fetters or whatever brand was available. Maybe you go to Sears and you buy one of their air conditioners. You get one of the Whirlpool air conditioners. You would buy a window air conditioner. You would open your window. You would stuff the air conditioner in there. You'd block off the rest of the window. If you had the old house with the sliding window, that was the easiest because they were made for that. Air conditioners were sold in New York City. They were sold downtown. You would see them in the hotel buildings. They would simply slide open the window, plop in the air conditioner, plug it in, and that was it. People back then started off using air conditioning only for sleeping. Because sleeping here when it's 80 degrees and higher with 80% or higher humidity is physically impossible. And if you try to open your windows, you better have good window screens because there's always that one mosquito that finds its way in your house. And it's going to torture you all night. You have your windows open. Somehow one blew in when you open your door. And at about 2 a.m, you hear that sound that is the most horrible, frustrating, and you're trying to see this thing and it's dark. So you got to turn on your light bulb and you look around and you're like, and eventually you do this and you do that. And finally you look at your hand and there's a dead mosquito with blood on it. You wipe it off, you go back to sleep. And guess what? In another 20 minutes, it's so frustrating. If you grew up like I did without air conditioning because our air conditioning broke and we couldn't afford to fix it, or you went to school without air conditioning like I did, you know that feeling all too well. So today, a lot of homes don't even have window screens. They install the window and they take the screen out and they put it in the shed or they throw it away. So when the power does go out, they're going to have to open their windows and doors. The mosquitoes and the cockroaches and everything will come on in. It'll be a total disaster. And that's what we're facing. With the carnivore lifestyle, the single point of failure is the meat supply. If you are one of those people that promotes the lion diet, the ruminant meat only diet, you cannot be a carnivore long term simply because if they cut off the supply of beef, you're done. Toothbrushes are a source of plastic in our bodies. Clean our teeth with twigs, I suppose. Well, that depends on how you do it. If you brush your teeth and you rinse your mouth out, the plastic is not an issue. I think the whole microplastic thing is way overrated. I think it's a marketing thing because if the plastic is inert enough to not be dissolved, what process is it actually going to cause? Think about glass and asbestos and all that. Those things embed themselves in your body. The plastic just kind of goes with the flow. I had a good friend who was very thin and was a raging type 2 diabetic. Took insulin. He died from complication of diabetes at age 57, eventually cancer. Well, I'm 58, so I'm older than he would have been. And I'm on the heart attack diet. You don't have to be fat or overweight to be a diabetic. That's correct. Type 1 diabetics often get really skinny and die of malnutrition because they don't have insulin. Windows open near the beach will give you lots of itchy no-see-em bites. That is true. If you happen to be in a wet, sandy place, they will get you. I think your diverticulitis flare was one of the foods you introduced or reintroduced lately. I would recommend taking all those foods out. Okay. So Peter's giving advice over there. This is what a senior woman here in Los Angeles told me about being in Florida for a while in the past. Bugs, yes. The insects here are legendary, although there's not as many now as there used to be because development has wiped a lot of them out. I live near the Intracoastal Waterway, South Florida. We have very few bugs here. Well, that's the thing is, before the development took over the coast, we had tons of insects, and we actually had land crabs. You would go over there on Old Cutler Road, there'd be so many dead land crabs because people ran over them. They were everywhere. The land crabs just took over. And the insects, you go out here at night, and I still see them in my yard, but the cockroaches, they're like 2 inches long. They'd fly around the light. They were all over the yard. One time there had to be 30 of them on the window. They would hang out right there on the window looking for a way to get in. The insects here were legendary. But as the environment has been degraded thanks to development and pesticides, the amount of insects has decreased. Most of these coastal environments are artificial now, and I don't know what that says about the actual environment. But don't worry, the mosquitoes are still here, and they are a problem. My yard's full of them, but I think it's because I got so many trees, the mosquitoes are just everywhere. It's great because sometimes when people come over, they have to leave. A lot of people here, they wear shorts and the mosquitoes go right for their legs, and you got a cloud of them. They cloud around me, but they don't normally bite. But for them, it's like, and they start sucking their blood out. Those mosquitoes, they're pretty desperate over here. I get ants here in the apartment during peak summer heat, and I never hear them coming. Well, there you go. I don't think you will. But we get the carpenter ants here. I got a bunch of them because of the rotten wood. And when it rains, it stirs them up. Sometimes you'll have hundreds of them on the ceiling of the kitchen. One time there were so many ants in here, my mom freaked out, and I made a homemade insecticide to kill them. Well, I think I overdid it because it killed every single ant, roach, and everything around the kitchen and even out into the backyard because it seeped under the door. It was like a horror movie. There were insects dropping from every corner. So I think I basically single-handedly wiped out the pest population. It's a good thing I told my mom not to go in the kitchen, and I covered up the doorway. I said, stay out of there. I made my own basic pesticide out of a little bit of chemistry. I won't say on YouTube, but it was pretty powerful. I was basically making my own version of DDT using some gasoline and oil and paint chemicals and a little bit of creativity. It was bad. It was really bad. But anyway, I use a vacuum cleaner with a pointy nozzle on the ants. You know, another thing, when I was riding my bike, somebody threw out a load of junk. They had a bunch of vacuum cleaner tools. I've had to use my wet or dry vac without those tools because when I found it in the trash pile, it didn't have any. But now I got a complete set of the vacuum cleaner tools from the trash pile. I was going to buy a set at Harbor Freight, but it was the wrong size. And it was like $20, which I didn't have at the time. But I went ahead and did that. And speaking of $20, I had $20 with me when I went to do an estimate on a customer's home yesterday. I stopped at BrandSmart. I figured they have these $14 keyboard and mouse combos. So I thought I'll buy one. And I go in the store and it says sale, $7.99. I go, that's got to be a mistake. So I take two of them up to the register and I said, are these keyboards and mice? $7.99. And they The guy says, yeah, where'd you get it from? It's over there. Oh, I got to get those. It's a good deal. But I got this keyboard for $8 plus tax with a mouse, comes with batteries. It's wireless. I don't use a lot of wireless devices. I normally use a wired keyboard, but the wire on my keyboard keeps failing. Every 6 months, I have to take the cable out, cut the end off, extend the connector, and resolder it because I do a lot of work with a keyboard. So now I've gone wireless. So that's one less thing for Milton to get tangled up in. And speaking of Milton, where is Milton? Usually by this time, he'd be over here pestering me. But since we're going to end a little shorter today, I'm going to go get Milton. I spray a household cleaner on ant areas, something called Awesome. That's what they sell at the dollar store, I think. I'm going to take these dishes back, and I'm going to grab Milton. So give me about a second here. Let me see if I can grab Mr. Milton. Hey, Milton. Milton, come on. Come here, Milton. Milton, where are you? Hey, Milton. Come here. Come on, Milton. What's the matter, baby? Oh, it's a Milton. I love this beautiful baby. Look at Milton. Oh, my goodness. I love Milton. Good. Here comes Milton. Cookie. Look at precious little Milton. Say hi, baby. Milton. Hi, Milton. Milton. Cutie. Oh, look at that Milton. Gorgeous Milton. Sweet. Look at Milton. There you go. My baby Milton. Yes. Look at that pretty cat. Look at that face. Oh, he's gorgeous. Look at Milton. Oh, soft Milton. Milton is a good kitten. I love him so much. Yes, you're a good kitty. Say hi to everybody. Oh, cute. Milton is here. So I wanted to show everybody Milton before he goes back to fall asleep. Oh, now he's going to climb up on my computer. What are you doing, Milton? You fell asleep. Yeah, well, Milton's getting big. Milton's a 14-pound beast now. You want to climb on the computer? Is that what you want to do? Oh, now he's going behind the computer. No, don't go there. You're a menace. Look at Milton. Hey, Milton. Look at those Milton eyes. Look at those teeth. Look at those teeth. Okay, Milton, you going to play with the phone? He's a good kitty. I like him a lot. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's catch up with these comments here. Too hot now, so I'm back. Well, there you go. Hey, if you lived here, it's always too hot. Roaches will travel from your neighbor's apartment to yours through the sink or tub water pipes. No problem in my apartment. They show up. I spray the room edges at the baseboards. Yeah. I've never had the little bitty roaches. I only get the big ones. Hey, I'm back. You ending early for the meetup? Yes. I will be ending before noon because I don't want to interfere with the meetup. And I guess Mitch is busy because he hasn't dropped in here, but there's no excuse. The link is there. Anybody that wants to drop in is welcome to drop in. Jonathan is being interviewed, so he'll come in a little bit later. Not as pond apples navels are. There you go. All right. Beautiful Milton. Yes. Milton is an awesome, and he's got fur on my face again, which when you have lard on your skin, every cat hair sticks to you and it will itch and irritate you. Sometimes I have to go wash my face off. It's terrible. All right. Doesn't happen that often. You're funny. Okay. Let's see. Sprinkle of cinnamon always disrupts the navigation for ants. Interesting. Rick, please consider going ahead and selling your home and moving to your lot and start building your new home before the real estate market crashes and you might get as much money. Well, I don't want to get more money. The less money I can get, the better, because I don't have to worry about capital gains. I believe in transferring as little money as possible. The less that you touch Federal Reserve notes, the better your life will be. So if my house is worth $1, the next house I buy will be worth 10 cents, and I'll be the happiest man in the world. Plus, when you buy a place cheap, your property tax starts out lower. I think different than the regular person. Where can we watch the meetup? That's a good question. You might have to check Mitch's channel because he always promotes these things. Let me take a look here. Mm-hmm. Oh, Christy's having a live right now. Let's see. Okay. Lost 40 pounds. He stays carnivore. All right. And let me go ahead. Let's see. I don't see it. Interesting. Okay. Trump plan aims to lower beef prices. More empty promises that won't make any difference. 100,000 metric tons of ground beef into the U.S. What could go wrong? You're going to let ground beef in from the rest of the world. Expect E. coli to be on the menu. Yes. I see that Barquet put out a video. Farmer exposes they quietly put this in your beef. There's just so many of these things that you can watch. It's crazy. Let me try a little something here. Let me go back to StreamYard. Let me go to present. See, this doesn't work the same as share screen. Oh, interesting. Oh, maybe I could do the same thing that I do on OBS. The worst roaches I've ever seen. Okay. Always tend to legal aliens like the ones that right? They keep coming, don't they? I'm driving to the meetup now. So Don Stronger is driving to the meetup. I can't find Mitch channel under live. Okay, there we go. Hey, there's Mark Harmon listening now. Good to hear. Glad you're here. I haven't seen you in a while, but I guess you haven't commented. I'm glad you're here. Let me see how many people I have on my channel. On the mobile version, I still have 10. And on the PC version, I have 49. So it's about 59, 60. It's about average. Plus, some people are on Jonathan's channel, which I can't see from StreamYard. I have to do it from YouTube. It looks good. Now I'm here chewing on ice, distracting everybody. Let's see here. I'm going to do an experiment. All right, so we have this. Get the StreamYard. There we go. Thomas, finished my walk, enjoying the drizzle from the bench. Okay. I guess you're getting a little rain. We haven't had rain here for a couple weeks now. Crank often. Good morning, Rick, and good morning, beautiful Miami. Well, there we go. Well, Miami's not beautiful, but maybe if you have a time machine, it would be. Building a new home, garage, moving everything there, new tree plantings, rebuilding all your cars, all would make great video content. Yeah, that's what I intend to do. If I build a new home, it'll be like one of those videos from the 1950s where you can see the way they used to do it, except I don't use wood for building. I only like to build with steel and concrete, maybe some glass blocks. I don't use wood for anything structural. I use it for cabinetry. I use it for decorations. Definitely make some paneling. This cheap plywood stuff I have, that's not good enough. I'm going to do the real deal. I'll get some pine trees and a bandsaw and make my own paneling because I do like to finish. Hey, Milton. Milton's looking at me. He's standing up there on a table, and he's looking at me with two yellow eyes. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Thomas.
I figure I would say a quick hello. As I said, I'm like watching the drizzle.
Excellent.
So yeah,
You braved the weather to go out for some exercise. That's
yeah.
good.
Actually, it was raining a little bit harder, and I just stayed outside and just kept on walking. So
Excellent.
yeah, so had a good time and everything. So are you ready to go on to the Boston virtual trip?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent.
I guess I'll be seeing you there as well.
I will try. I mean, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people going, so it's probably going to be kind of like a rotating synapsis. So I was when I first saw it starting at 4:00. I'm like, oh no, I do my thing at 4:00. But then I looked again and I noticed it says at 12, so I can do that, So
Uncle Charlie says, can you do me a favor? Ask Thomas if he could unblock me for Lance's show today.
I didn't realize I had him blocked.
Okay. So he wasn't aware of it. So now you know.
Yep. Yeah, I'll look into it.
Okay. Just finished the podcast. That was good fun. Well, I'm glad. Yeah. Jonathan was, I have to find out what the podcast was.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely. So.
Well, you're looking happy today, Thomas. I like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Found out that I lost some weight and lost a couple inches off my waist. So
you're making good progress.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, just keep on the momentum and just be happy with who, I just learned to be happy with who I am and not to worry about what other people think and stuff. So,
well, think about this. Stress actually causes people to gain body fat. If I could find a picture of me when I was taking care of my mom, I added a lot of body fat and my diet never changed. And I was, it seemed like stress is the problem.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
You just have to remember, I don't think any of us is out there to break you down. We're all trying to help as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good, I mean, you just have to bounce back basically. And that's what I did. That's what I attempted to do. So
that's right. And see, Jonathan says, keep trucking away, simple changes, small incremental efforts, and keep the ball rolling.
Yep. It's basically all you can do,
That's right.
And that's good advice for every one of us, not just me,
I agree. And we can see it. I mean, you've been looking leaner and happier, and I don't think that it's going to get any worse. I think if you keep making those small changes and keep making progress, and you're going to inspire other people too. So
thank you.
That's a great thing.
Thank you. Well, all we can do is try, and just be our best selves. That's inspiration. That's more than enough for me.
Right. And I've been inspired by your channel since the beginning.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So yeah, I just put out another members only video, which will come out tomorrow for everybody. So I'm on my 5th day now, and I'm about 110 hours in of the fast. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very good. Tomorrow I start eating, so I'll break it with some bone broth.
Nice. Well, there you go.
And then 2 hours later, I'll have a couple burgers.
Excellent.
And I'll make them as close to hardtack style as I can, with their own fats, but, just, but no added fat. So don't worry about that.
Well, I was going to say, I tell everybody, don't imitate me because I've never been overweight. I'm like the outlier. I think a lot of times if people try to imitate me, they'd probably get really heavy really quickly.
Well, I mean, I agree. I agree with Jonathan on one aspect, definitely. That I think what it is I think that when you're a big guy like me, the fat isn't, the added fat isn't necessary. But when you're somebody like you that is thin, then you need the fat, So I think that, and Jonathan can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think once I lose the weight and once I get to a weight where I'm thin and I'm in shape, then I think the reverse is going to be true on how much fat I take. So Right now, I think I need the less fat, and we'll go from there once I lose the weight. And I'm not saying if I lose the weight, once I lose the weight.
Which you will.
Yeah. So, like my goal is to be about 160, 165. So, which is another like 70 pounds. So, yeah.
Well, the good thing also, it's not just about the weight. It's also the body composition. And you can see that. You don't even have to weigh yourself. You can look at your face, you can look at your body, and you can look at the things that people say to you. You listen to them. Oh, you must be losing weight. Oh, you look different. Oh, you look good. You hear these things all the time.
Right.
And it's like, you know that the progress is being made.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just have to look at those subtle changes and stuff like that, and just keep on measuring up, so to speak.
Right. And there's these comments about 1 meal a day. I don't do 1 meal a day. I proudly tell everybody I eat 3 meals a day.
Right.
I'm not like Thomas said. There's a big difference between Thomas and Rick. There's a big difference between Jonathan and Rick. Jonathan has a lot of muscle to maintain, so he has to eat multiple times a day. If he tried to eat 1 meal a day, it'd be like Rick eating 1 meal a day. I'd be so stuffed and so lazy.
Right.
I'd have to sit for 3 hours.
Well, not even just that, but not only would you be stuffed, but you would probably not be eating enough to nourish yourself. You kind of need to eat the more times to get all the nourishment that you need,
Right.
So yeah, I think that, for just what you just said, I think I don't think it has anything to do with like you would be overeating at the 1 meal. I think you'd actually be under eating at the 1 meal. You might be stuffing yourself to where you throw up and stuff like that at the 1 meal, but still probably wouldn't be enough because like how much you eat now.
Exactly.
You'd be able to eat that much in 1 meal? No way.
Right.
Like
Jonathan says there, the bucket's overfill. It can always spill over into more fat. Thomas got the idea.
Yep.
And see, Thomas, he can do fasting, which for me would be a disaster because it's just going to make me lose mass, which I don't need to. I'm already too skinny.
Right.
Most carnivores do 2 meals a day as an average, but it doesn't mean that someone has to do that. That's right. And again, if you're overweight, 1 meal a day, that might be the way to go.
Yeah. And Uncle Charlie, I haven't decided yet if I want to shave my head or not. I'm going to keep it short and then give it a couple of weeks before I make my decision. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
I think he looks fine the way it is. The only time that people with lack of hair look bad is when they let the hair on the side grow really big, and that just looks like a mad scientist.
Right. Like, well, that'd be a good look too. I could be like,
Just don't do the comb over.
Oh God, no. Oh, God, no. I'd have to let it grow for a while to do that.
Right.
On my phone, I'm trying to read the comments that you're putting up, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Is Dr. Chafee is OMAD? I don't know. Dr. Chafee, I thought he ate multiple times a day, but it's possible.
Well, if he is OMAD, look at what he eats. He probably has like a tomahawk every day or something.
Well, that's true. He's one of the rich carnivores. Him and Baker, they get to eat all those meats, and they probably get some of that meat for free from some of the sponsors they get. Whereas guys like us, we have to scrounge up whatever we can get.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Grandma say how she likes his meat? Meaning
I don't know. I know Grandma has a weird sense of humor. Yeah, see, Jonathan always with the science. Average stomach capacity about 400 milliliters. If Rick and I need 2 kilograms of food per day in one sitting, that can't work out too well. And that's it. And that's the one thing Jonathan and I have in common. We're both big eaters.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I admit I eat a lot, but not as much as you, but I have had to cut down a little bit, just because I want to get better. And, but I normally have been able to pack it in, but,
right.
But it's 2 different situations, or many different situations. I mean, between you and me, it's 2 different situations, but, overall.
I almost forgot about the Simpsons. Was it Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons? But evidently Jonathan Rose here talking about the hairstyle.
Yeah. No, you know who I think of, Jonathan, is Krusty the Clown from Simpsons.
That's funny.
Never mind Sideshow Bob, you know.
Let's see. It's probably genetics. It could be. But I do think that it's the way that we grew up makes a big deal. Chafee is so mad as he's on the road often, but he is too mad if he's just chilling and fancies more food someday. He's all
That makes sense. I mean, I tend to fast better when I'm working than I do when I'm just sitting around doing nothing. Like I got to move while I'm fasting, you know.
Well, the other thing too is that I've seen you for at least a couple of years now, and not only have you gotten leaner, but also your attitude has changed. You're not as touchy as you used to be, and you seem to be more well-grounded. So that's good.
Yeah, it's going to be, believe it or not, January 1st will be officially 2 years of me being carnivore. So
that's right.
Yeah, so it's pretty close to 2 years that we've known each other. Yeah, Derek, absolutely right.
One of the great things about the YouTube experience is you can look back at your older videos and compare yourself from now to then. And you can see your progress a lot better than just the weight on a scale or some other metric.
Well, I mean, I think this is what I kind of feel, and I feel I'm right on this one. For the first year, I think I was progressing pretty well. I was doing pretty well with like movement and stuff like that. And then something happened, and I think Jonathan hit it on the doorknob when he said about eating too much fat. I think like for that 1 year, it helped with my healing, eating all that fat. And then there came a time where I still need to heal, but it's now the fat loss is more important. So I think that now it's like a whole new journey for me. You know, I still need to get my A1C down. I still need to get my insulin non-existent. You know, not the insulin itself, but just taking the insulin non-existent, and which I'm getting down. Like today, I take just the long acting right now of 10 units twice a day, and then I have no short acting right now at all. Okay. So, you know, and I'm going to probably cut down the long acting because, but I'm going to wait. I just want to wait until the week's over and just get some doctor advice, basically. But other than that, I'm on the right track. You know, and you know, I'm feeling very good about myself. I'm feeling very good about being here, being with others, and just take it one day at a time. You know, I have it planned to get my trike on 9/11, and I'm going to put that together. And by my birthday, I should be able to ride to a gym and be able to join a gym and to be able to have like a peripheral of different machines rather than buying it and putting it and trying to find space in my apartment.
Right. Well, there you go.
That's my plan, and you guys heard it here first on Rick's Live, and you know, just to keep on trucking, just to keep on going, keep on moving.
That's it.
I didn't see what Liz just said on the thing.
Yeah, Liz was saying that, you know, that was her advice. Also, Uncle Charlie, shave head, keep facial hair, and tan some color. You're not super pale now, but then Jonathan says you end up looking like him.
Well,
like that Carnivore Muscle guy.
I mean, I can never have the muscles you have, Jonathan. I mean, come on, let's, you know, like that just, I mean, you look good in that. That's not me. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with looking like Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan's a good looking guy. So.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And I'm manly enough to be able to admit that. Yeah.
Well, I have no trouble admitting it. I don't know. I'm an alien, so I'm not really manly. I'm from the planet Mopar.
Yes. Well, you could still have opinions and be the male version of your planet. You know?
Right. But I don't know if the male and female thing is really a thing on the planet Mopar. I don't know if we clone or we do it the old-fashioned way, but somehow I guess it exists.
Well, we all know that Kilf is a clone. At least that's my suspicion. That's how he's able to be in like 9,000 places at once, because he has clones all over the place.
Right. These comments are funny. It really is.
I can barely see them. So, true. You got that needed color to go hairless, looking like the dude from the movie Powder. is not a good look. No, it's not. Yeah, 'cause for me, everything's like really tiny because I'm on my phone. So
Right? Yeah, and then Jonathan says often healing happens as a result of fat loss. Too much body fat equals full fat cells equals maximum inflammation equals feeling crap. And that's true. But see, the good thing is Jonathan gave you sort of a tough love video. And I know that it hit kind of hard, but instead of just running off and giving up, it actually inspired you. And now you're back and you're better than ever.
I did leave for a short while, but I needed to collect myself. I mean, I'm not gonna be like true. I'm not gonna lie and say like I love the video, you know, but I do understand the words behind it, and I do understand the care behind it. So, I mean, me and Jonathan are good friends now. You know, we're at least civil to each other, right, Jonathan? And you know, I respect Jonathan amazingly, and I hope that he respects me too. And that's all that matters, you know. And I respect him enough to be able to hear the advice that he gives, and to, you know, just, you know, like to be like, okay, well, I didn't really like the video, but you know what? That lessening the fat makes sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to kind of look around it and stuff. And you know, and you know, sometimes it jumps things. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of like you got to be pushed off the cliff in order to catch yourself onto the next cliff.
That's right. You know, sometimes it's like when you're driving and you have a close call or you have some unexpected disaster. You learn a lot from it because you realize that things could have gone a lot worse. But in this case, it's just a friendly reminder. And like you said, you don't want to follow somebody like me who's eating as much as he can because we're just totally different in terms of our physique, physiology, and so on. But you find the path that works for you. And if it's not working, you might have to make adjustments. That's the thing. You don't want to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So I'm glad that you're doing that.
Yeah. So to answer Uncle Charlie's question, the last time I ate was Monday, 7:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Thomas and I are on respectable terms now for the greater good of everyone and all our health. So Jonathan agrees. And there's Tim.
That's all that really matters, you know?
There's our friend Tim, Odd Fitness. Morning chat morning, Rick and Jonathan. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, Tim. I hope you're still enjoying the summer while you got it. I know you get out there whenever you can. Haven't seen any bike
somebody
rides.
is similar to Jonathan. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim. All right. Well, that's awesome. So you went for a good long walk earlier, huh?
Yeah, I had a good time, and went for just about a mile. Nothing extravagant. I really don't want to go further unless like right now, just like you, I'm just a little limited on funds. So
Right.
I don't like the idea of going super far out because just in case, I want to be safe. So I plan on going. I get paid this Wednesday. So I have to see what day I have off. So I might actually go to the lake, which is about 3 miles. And I might do that, but I'm going to have money with me. So then if I get really tired, I can take the Uber back home. And if not,
Right.
I can walk back home. But at least I have that option to do, So
Well,
I'm either going to walk there or I'm going to walk to the nearest gym and see if it's possible, see how long it takes me to walk to the gym and just go from there.
with your feet the way they are you able to do that? I mean, that much distance?
I did 5.5 miles one time, so
Okay.
I don't, it's not a matter of, it's just a matter of resting. Like I obviously have to stop every few feet. I'm up to like now stopping every like 50 to 100 feet now, where before I was like stopping every 10 feet. So yeah, you get better and better. It obviously helps when I have less inflammation in my legs and stuff. But no, yes. Is it possible? Yes, it is, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hello.
Oh,
Are you right?
The audio. Okay.
yeah.
Is it off again?
Yeah. Okay, it's back.
Okay, cool. What's going on?
Oh, we're just having a little hangout over here, as you see.
You know, Mitch's thing starts at 12, right? Just to make sure that I got that.
Yes.
Okay.
Mitch's thing starts at 12. There we go. Let's see. There we are. Mr. Beef in the house. Yep. That's right. We got the toothpick, the bodybuilder, and the up and coming all in one place.
Yeah, I do the firework thing, but I can't because
Well, you're not. Yeah, you're not in front of your computer. Oh, you're streaming from your phone, which is that's good.
Yeah, well, it's how I'm able to be outside.
I've streamed from my phone on bike rides, but only as long as I can catch the Wi-Fi from my outdoor antenna.
Right.
Once I go on the other side of the canal, it doesn't work anymore.
No, that's and once I get my trike, I will be doing some ride and talks.
Mm-hmm.
I just need the right equipment and stuff because then I won't be worried so much about balance. The only reason I'm getting a trike over a bicycle is because of the balance.
Yeah. Well, the problem is with the shoes that you have, if you lose your balance, it could be catastrophic.
It can
and I
be.
think with the trike, you could continue. You could stop. You don't have to worry about taking an Uber home because I don't think that your legs themselves are the problem.
No. I have strength. I can definitely lift things, and so that's why I want to go to the gym because, I just don't want to invest in any more weights that I can't put, that I can't fit inside my apartment. So I figure I have so much more options at the gym, So
I agree.
Do that like 3 times a week and, plus the bike, plus the trike ride, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, by all means, use a trike if you have to use a trike. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't care. I'll just get on with it.
Right.
Well, it's got 3 wheels rather than 2. It's adaptive living. Like I don't know. I put the seat on recline in a car when I'm sat in the car. It's just what you have to do to get the job done.
Yeah, basically just keep on moving, right? Keep on trucking.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it takes more power to ride a trike than it does to ride a bicycle. So I guess technically you'll get a little bit better of a workout on a tricycle.
Yeah, I guess that's true because you have to kind of like be able to maneuver and so I never thought about it, but yeah, I guess that's true.
There's a little bit more mass and there's a little bit more rolling resistance. Yeah, exactly. So don't be embarrassed about it. And I think it's great. I really do. I'm a big fan of using the bicycle to save money. But I guess for someone that wants to get a little more exercise in, that's a great way to go.
Yeah. So,
and if you're going
I'll still practice on the regular bike.
Right.
And I'm thinking about getting like one of those like things that can make it into a stationary bike just while I'm while I'm not using it, but just to kind of practice on my balance and stuff like that. And so for the days that it's like snowing, because when it snows, it's kind of hard to get out. So like I can't even go out in the park when it snows because they don't shovel the track.
Right.
So I think that's what happened last time too. Like for like 2 months, I was not able to go out on the track.
Mm-hmm.
So that caused that's enough time to cause some issues. So, I have the walking pad and soon I'll have the stationary bike and I have the small weights. So hopefully that will be good. I can't really see what DS11 says.
It says you will get the best workout on an old unmaintained bike like Rick's because of all the malfunctions going on with it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I always say in my videos, hey, for all of you that have new bicycles and e-bikes, why don't you send me one of them to review? Of course, they won't do that because they'll only send it to the popular YouTubers. But
Right.
as long as there's a trash pile and a dump, I always have parts to fix mine.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you're like Sanford and Son, you know.
Yeah. You see my house and yard, it looks like Fred Sanford's house.
You can imagine.
When I have my truck running, I was driving around the neighborhood just like his son Lamont, picking up stuff from the trash pile.
Oh my God! You know what would be funny if you did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do this already. If you did that and played like blasted the Sanford and Son theme song while driving down the road.
I've done that before in my truck. I had that thing playing, you know.
Right. Because you're turning a corner.
He had an old Ford truck full of junk. That's what I drive, an old Ford truck full of junk.
Yeah.
That was me all the time. And
That is
maybe
funny.
one day I'll get it running again.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna actually get going. Go on the other side of the tracks right now, and so I'll see you guys later. If either one of you guys is going to the meetup in Boston virtually, I'll see you then.
Okay, I should be there.
All right. See you guys.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Hi, Thomas.
Cheers. Have a good one. In a bit.
All right.
That was good fun. Yeah, I thought I'd leave you guys to chat for a bit, because I need years off shortly, so I thought I'd just leave you guys to chat even rather than...
Huh. There we go. What is that?
I'm just opening packages, by the way.
Oh, okay. I
You
thought
carry
maybe it
on.
was some secret weapon or something.
Pull out like a giant like sword.
Let's see. Do not want to work on a dad's old mountain bike because of all the frozen and broken parts on it. I don't know if I have an old one. All my bikes are from the trash. Let's see. Well, awesome, sir. There we go. I don't know. Tim, I don't know if he's ever shown what kind of bike he has, but it probably doesn't have as rust and broken parts as mine. My seat is so cracked, I
I've still got a bike, but it's a bit messed up.
I put plastic bags on mine when it rains so the water doesn't go in what's left of the seat foam.
A lot of people do that, yeah. They do it over here.
Oh, really? Everyone says that my bike looks like a homeless person.
Secret weapon. I'd say most of them do over here, actually. Yeah, if you see one parked outside the shop, it looks a bit like yours. We're not a big biking country. It's funny because we've got the same sort of weather near enough in the Scandinavian countries. So east of us, they're all into their bikes. Like I've been to Denmark, Poland. When you go past there, Rick, like there's a few trams, a few like buses, things like that. The odd car here and there. But it's mostly just like bike stand after bike stand. I kid you not, on each street that you must be able to fit at least like 100 different bikes.
Really?
Yeah, like honestly, they all love it. You'd love it over there. You'd fit right in.
Is it true? That seems to be part of their culture over there, that they love cycling, and people there live longer than they do here too.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Yeah, they live quite a long time.
In the U.S., they tend to be lazy. Nobody wants to do any work if they don't have to.
I think part of that is well, I guess it's how we're sort of brought up, isn't it? Like, there's some countries around the world where everyone cooks from scratch. Then there's countries. Here's a funny one. Hi guys, I'm gonna try and come on. I'm driving, so I don't want to cause a shift this Saturday. You can if you want. By all means, feel free. If it sounds horrible, we might tell you, and might tell you not to be on.
Yeah.
We've got sensitive ears. Yeah, so for example, Rick, so my country, England, or the UK, maybe like 65% processed foods. US, 5% approximately. Spain, maybe 50%. Then Portugal and France, double check the numbers, but it's like 20%. Even though those countries are near the same sort of socio-economic status, and they're just next to each other. So you got two countries next to each other, the same sort of thing. They're on totally different wavelengths in terms of like diet. Charlie's asking about testosterone and HCG. Save your money. If you're going to inject growth hormone secretagogues and releasing hormones, this isn't medical advice. Just spend your money on growth hormone. Honestly, save your money. Testosterone is a peptide which is derived from some of the amino acid sequence from human growth hormone, but only the lipolytic one, and has some muscle building capacity as well. Save your money, is my opinion. It's not going to change your life. So
that's it.
You need to be worried about going to the gym and eating a proper diet.
I always like getting advice from someone who's qualified to give it, because there's too many people on the internet that tell you a bunch of crap.
I mean, I can't speak from a point of expertise, not because I don't understand it, but because there's very little expertise, because these are like
experimental
peptides, hormones, things that have been out. Yeah, they're experimental. It's like you're not going to find. There are some studies on these things, yes, but there's not much real world. Oh, I've asked 1,000 people. I'm a doctor of this. There's nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I don't understand why people don't not ride a bike or getting cardio, making people unhealthy and feel like crap. And basically, this whole thing that people think they have to push themselves really hard and run themselves into the ground and sweat a lot. And that's not what it is. It's about intelligent use of motion. There's no reason to pound yourself jogging and doing all these silly things when diet and structured exercise gives you so much more. You can get amazing results without killing yourself. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've got a bad question coming up from someone, and they'll know it's bad by tell them. Jonathan, how much time do you spend on the gym in average in the gym? We don't. Now, time in the gym, Aaron, is not something you need to be spending conscious effort on. Time doing something in the gym is the time that you need to be worried about. So, for example, I could spend 4 hours in the gym each day and get 2 sets done. That's no good, is it? If I'm just sat there chatting all the time. So what we're going to look at is workout density. So what you're getting done in what period of time. Now that doesn't mean like running around from gym to gym, all the equipment, doing it all really fast like a circuit. It just means how much do you give your body a stimulus to adapt over a certain period of time, over a certain unit of time. So Rick, for example, might be, I've got to go to a podcast in 4 hours. I've got 2 hours to cycle to and from somewhere and cook my food up and make dinner. Okay, what's the most efficient way of doing that? So maybe it means he's going to raise the temperature of his cooker, his oven, his pan. Maybe he's going to preheat something. Maybe he's going to cook it the day before. So the idea is to make the training more efficient. But whilst I say making it more efficient, it means making it usably efficient. So the goal isn't to do it as fast as possible. It's to train as hard as you can, recover even better, but then make progress in terms of the load used, the intensity used, the amount of time you're lifting the weight for. That's what you're looking at. So hopefully that's helpful and insightful to you.
Well, it's like people ask me,
by the way.
People ask me, how long does it take to install an air conditioner? I said, it depends on the setup time. It depends on the conditions. It depends on the time of day. I can install an air conditioner in 30 minutes, but the same unit may take me 5 hours under different conditions. If you're going to a gym, you have setup time. You have to wait for a machine or a station. It's like Jonathan says, there's no way to set an exact time.
No, I mean, if I'm in there and it takes me an hour and a half, it takes me an hour and a half. Usually, it takes me under an hour. So me and my friend Liz, who I train with, who I mentioned sometimes, so she's probably one of my best like in-person friends. She also uses a stick. She's also disabled. So she's kind of like my chaperone in the gym to stop me from attacking people and going nuts. So what we'll do is we'll go to the gym together, but we'll stagger what we do. So say we're doing the same sort of workout. If I know I'm doing this, then that, well, she'll do that, then this, then that. We will just reverse it. So we've still got access to the equipment. So we're not wasting time waiting, like, or my set, your set. Then we're waiting for 3 other people to finish on that other thing. We're using it more efficiently. So there's things like that we can do. Yeah, the idea of time being a problem in the gym. I mean, I honestly think, Rick, if you said to me, Jonathan, I'm going to give you 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week to train, could you maintain your muscle? I'd say yes, I could. Would I enjoy training that way? No. Would I get better than what I am now? Probably not. There's an element of eventually you need to recover more between sets to lift a heavier weight to progress, but overall it's about just getting it done. You don't need to do a lot. So the idea of time being an excuse to not get in the gym is rubbish, nonsense. You can train at home. There's a lot you can do.
Exactly. I think a lot of times people
Sorry
look
if
at the
dogmatic, guys. It's just what I observed.
Oh,
yeah.
I think a lot of times people look for the wrong metrics. They don't.
Like I was saying to Thomas in the past, like with the video. Remember, like I was saying, Thomas, you're worried about how many hours you're fasting, or what sardine fast. You know, I don't. I'm just generalizing here, like what people say. Like you're worrying about all these other things that you're doing. You need to make sure you're tracking the right thing. So if it means Thomas gets on a tricycle rather than a bicycle, and he's doing 10 minutes of cycling versus 0, well, he's doing 10 minutes that he's otherwise not doing. That's the key. The key is to do something. So
right.
Over time, it might be that his living situation gets better. He can afford a stationary bike. He might get sponsored by someone. All these different things. So you just have to do what you can at a time. That's what I emphasize. That's what Rick's always saying. Like he uses me an example just because I'm an obvious example because I'm on the stream now. But what can you do with what you have? Then have a goal in the future. Say, well, I can do a squat. I can do this weight, that weight. In the future, I'm looking to do this, and that's what I'm going to progress to. So don't look at my food intake or Rick's and say, well, there's 2 fit and healthy young men. That's what you need to be doing. That's not the case at all. You need what you need to do for that point in time, and that point may change over time.
That's right. And again, everyone has a different background. Some people, they have a background of being sedentary and being obese. And there's always that fallback. Someone who has spent most of their life being unhealthy, it's very easy for them to fall back into that routine. But someone who may have had a more healthy lifestyle, it's very unlikely that they would go from that into an unhealthy lifestyle very quickly. That would take time. Usually it would take a change of circumstances, maybe a different job. Maybe they get married. Maybe they have kids. Maybe they get divorced. There's some type of major change that causes people to change their lifestyle more than if you're living the same lifestyle. I mean, what is the chance of someone like me switching to duck food? It would be very, very difficult, even if I had nothing left to eat. You're not going to see me eating candy, cookies, pastries. To me, it's just garbage. You might see me eating some fruits that I picked from my yard or from the side of the road. You may see me eating more squirrel. I may even eat rats, but you're not going to see me eating any of the rice or beans or any of the stuff that makes me sick because I'm not used to it. But for a person who came from that lifestyle, that's a fallback. It's like a comfort food. It's a familiar thing. It's nostalgic. So when things get bad, what's the first thing they do? They go back to what used to comfort them. And that's the problem. So if somebody like me tries to give them advice, it's worthless because I would say, well, don't eat that stuff. I don't eat it. But that doesn't help them because I'm not in the same situation.
That's exactly it, Rick. Always full of wisdom. Always. Must be your age.
Well, that's it. Let's see. The way you are worried about getting in another round of awesome nutrition. Okay. That you are what you are. Case exactly true. Yeah, you eat what you are. That's right. If you eat duck food, you're going to be waddling and quacking. Here's a question for Jonathan.
Good one. Okay. This is a big one to unpack. It would take 15 minutes minimum. Go onto my channel after this live stream, or watch this live stream after you watch the other video. Go onto my exercise playlist video, and there's a video which explains how to create your own workout program. That's what you need to do. If you train every other day and you do legs, you're not giving your body enough time to recover. Only if you're doing a very pansy workout would you be able to do a hard leg session multiple times per week. What you have to do then is scale back the training volume. So say, for example, say you're doing 9 sets per week for legs total. Say just doing 9 total sets across a given week. Say you're doing it on Monday. Try splitting it from Monday to maybe Monday and Thursday, but then doing 4 sets one session, 5 sets the next session, or something like that. So you just split the volume across the week. What you'll find is you'll be able to train harder in each session as long as your muscle soreness and your recovery is good enough between those sessions. If you're training your legs and they're always sore, you're probably not going to be able to train that hard 1. You're probably not going to recover that well 2. And 3, the problem is you're going to have to do legs nearly every day, or every other day. It's hard work.
See, you have to be, you have to be scientific about it and have a methodology, because otherwise, if you're just doing it by what people tell you, well, that doesn't. It's different. A person who's 25 is going to be different than someone that's 80.
Yeah, don't look at my program and think, oh, that's what Jonathan's doing. That's the best one. You need to find it out for yourself, and I'd love to be able to go ahead in time and do it for you. I love training, but you know, it's a how to put it. It's not like fixing a switch. Fixing a switch, oh, outcome, the switch turns the light on. Brilliant, job's done. You have to find a way to track things and be objective. Know when to, make the changes to flip that switch, so to speak. So, yeah, wise as ever, Rick. Wise as ever.
And Tim says ultra processed food is so gross. It is. I can't eat that stuff. But again, if I have to, I'll eat some of the plant material that I can tolerate. I can tolerate fermented foods to some extent, and there's certain fruits that I can eat without a problem. I just avoid the ones that give me issues. And Brian, I guess, is on his way out. Have a good day, Rick and Jonathan. That's good.
Yes, Brian.
And let's see. Heard that? Yeah. Rick is always logical. Our culture is not logical anymore. Logic makes people stand out. Barb from Grandma Crochet's Corner is also logical. Yep, she's also kind of funny too. So, I just wish that I stayed up that late, which I don't. Jonathan, somehow, he's able to be up at all hours. So he's definitely got that advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, I get payback for it, though, certainly.
Well, everything has a price, as they say. And Aaron says, have a good day, Rick and Jonathan. Glad I made this morning live. Yeah. Well, too bad you were working because you could have joined in, but that's okay. But Thomas joined in. It's inspiring. It's inspiring to see somebody make progress and be willing to try different things and not just stay on one course and then complain, well, it's not working. Well, if it's not working, try something else.
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, I don't want to go into it in a lot of detail and bring up stuff, but it's like, I was literally banging my head against the wall trying to help him. I was like, I've tried doing all the logical things, all the correct things that anyone else would do to help him. Because I was like, here's a guy that needs some help. It's something he's doing is not working. But I could see the bottleneck in his results. What was stopping him from getting results? So I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm glad I made the video. I don't regret it at all. 95+% of people that I came across thought it was a brilliant job and they loved it. A lot of people sent me super chats and things because of it, which is kind of cool as well. But yeah, it was an abrasive take. Some people would find it abrasive. At the end of the day, I mean, Rick, imagine Rick, you're my neighbor and you went to a vegetarian diet of eating, I don't know, duck food all day. Just imagine you just flip for some reason. I'll be like, "You right, Rick?" I'd leave you to it for a bit, and when you start coming around my house and you're sort of like, "Oh, my toilet's blocked. My blender's my smoothie blender's broken. Then we got a problem. Then I'm going to be shouting at Rick saying, "Rick, you're messing yourself up. You need to stop doing it."
Yeah,
You would expect me to as a friend sort of thing. You'd expect someone to care about the other person to do something about it. Unfortunately, you have to bring people's attention to it, and this being YouTube nowadays, the obvious thing would be, oh, he's doing it for clicks. I didn't get that many clicks. Also earned about £2.50, so maybe $3 on that video. So there was no financial incentive in me making a video. In fact, I had the balls to take the bigger risk by making it, knowing that Thomas had quite a good following. So I did what a lot of people wouldn't have done. I'm glad I did in that sense, because now he's on a better track. He's lost some weight inadvertently, and he's making strides forward, which is the most important thing. Above all feelings. Who cares about feelings? Do you think Thomas is going to be sat here 10 years from now thinking, "Oh, Jonathan was mean to me in that video," or whatever? No, he's be thinking, "Well, without being arrogant, I'm glad I listened to some of that advice about the butter or the fat, because now I'm so much weight less than what I used to be." Now he's actively looking at ways to try and afford, gyms, and he's even making plans to go 3 times a week and do the better option. So I've done exactly what I set out to do. I achieved exactly what I wanted to get out of it, and yeah, it caused a bit of quarrel and stress at the time, but I might have extended that guy's life. So maybe, I don't know, but we'll see in the future. So the idea now is we all follow along, support Thomas to lose the excess weight and get the diabetes into remission. That is the goal, and hopefully he does achieve that. So if people don't like that, and apologies for the rude wording, but tough titty, what I did has worked. So that's my rant.
Well, the thing is, it's like if you look at the vegan community, for example, and I know several vegans, when they get offended, then they go on the counterattack, and then they start trashing. They start saying, well, this person is no good, and they did this, and they did that, and they play this game, and they hold grudges for long periods of time. My ex-vegan friend, when he went on his keto carnivore journey, he's still afraid to talk to them, because once you tell them what you did, doesn't matter what the results are, you have offended them because you've gone against their religion. You've gone against their politics or whatever it is, and they become personally invested in this, and they will never admit that they're wrong. And this is the thing. So when you see somebody make adjustments and see results, it's like, yeah, it's like I always say, if you know a better way to do something, whoops, hold on, what happened? Oh, okay. Well, if you see a better way to do something, show me how to do it. I want to see it. I'm not going to be offended if you have a better way, but most of the time they don't, because the only thing they do is respond with some type of aggression. Well, I know better. I'm relying on this expert to tell me. I'm like, well, have you tried it? Do you have any personal experience? And they don't. And I get this all the time. And that's what I don't want to see in the carnivore community. That's one of the reasons I criticize the sort of closed loop, pay-to-play groups where you have a mutual admiration society and they're not open to any change. And the thing is, if you are a true scholar, or you are a true engineer, or you are an innovator, you're always going to be looking for the problems and looking for a way to solve them. And maybe your personal view is not correct, but somebody else is.
That's exactly what I did in the podcast interview earlier, Rick. So the guy was like, "Oh, what do you recommend? What would you say was the key to your carnivore success, or your story, or what was the main thing you sort of think? Oh, I'm glad I did that." I said community, giving honest feedback to people. So you're looking at your metrics, what you're doing. You're looking at your numbers. I look at my subscriber number and think, well, it's 3 times plus more than Rick. Does that matter? No. It's about the impact. It means how many people watching my piece of content. It's not competition between me and Rick, obviously, but it's like per content, what is making the most impact to the general population of people who are watching it? Because Rick and I watch videos all the time of, like, say, a vegan video, 1 million subscribers and 100,000 views. Most people are just watching that of comedic value, not to actually benefit from. It's all about a snowball effect. So you have to impact the right people at the right time. And as long as you still make content and you're a content creator out there, chances are it will fall across the right ears at some point. You never know who that will impact and to what degree.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's a popular.
I will always stick by my guns.
What's that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes the audio does cut in and out a bit, but it's really kind of frustrating because people do follow. They tend to follow trends, and I think a lot of times those trends work against them because every trend is started by somebody that has a motive, and it's often an ulterior motive. They want to sell a product or service. They want to start the trend as a form of marketing to enrich themselves. So when you have somebody that just honestly puts information out there, it gets ignored. Well, what is the big deal? Because there's not enough hype behind it. If I put something out there, I'm not going to hype it up because I'm not making any money out of it. I am the one person on YouTube that never asked for anything, never got any income. 19 years on YouTube, still haven't been paid a penny, and I'm permanently demonetized because I'm too outspoken. And I think a lot of times people just don't get it. They think, well, I have to be popular to make an impact. But if you look at our channels, Jonathan's got a lot more than I do. He hasn't been as a YouTuber as long as I have. But the thing is, the people that watch our videos participate at a higher rate than your typical 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, million subscriber channel where they have comments. When they have a live, they may only have 100, 200 people. When you figure out the ratio between participation, and this is the one thing that I have to admit about Ken Berry's channel, there's an awful lot of participation. There's a lot of people logged in, but a lot of these other YouTube channels, there's not a lot of participation. Even though you may have a lot of subscribers, you may only get a couple hundred in the live. Whereas here, I've had up to 80, and the comments just keep coming and coming.
84 is the record, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's as much as, no shade on Bart and Stephen, but that's as much as they get.
Yeah, exactly.
Bart's got 50K, Stephen has about 50K. So 100K versus 20K people.
Right. I have 4.5K on my channel. But the thing is that I have regular commenters. I have people that are very much participating. So it's not like I'm the sort of celebrity. It's just like a community of people. It's a back and forth. This is a place where they can share different things, and I give my opinion, and nobody gets put down because that's the whole idea. The motive is different. I'm not trying to start a trend. And Tim says, all the vegan folks I've met act like they are some sort of righteous king. And I agree with that. They act like they're better than us.
You'll know what kind of vegan they are if they tell you they're vegan. Like, for me, if someone comes across, if someone says, "Oh, Jonathan, give me an elevator pitch of who you are," I don't know anything about you. I'll be like, "Hi, my name's Jonathan. I'm a content creator on YouTube. I'm also a nutritionist. I like to resistance train. I teach safe practices in the gym, how to improve your body and health. I'm qualified in this. Somewhere further down the line, it comes to, oh, by the way, my channel is Carnivore Muscle. I advocate and promote a carnivore diet. I don't say I'm Jonathan, I'm a carnivore. The way I eat does not denote exactly who I am or what I do, It just happens to be part of my tool set.
That's correct. And that's the one thing that I try to say. A lot of times, one of the biggest suspicions I have is when people say what they are. Somebody says, well, I'm a Christian. And that's the first thing that scares me because I go, uh-oh, this must be a scam.
They're better than you already, Rick.
That's correct. They don't know me, but they're better than me. And then they'll say, well, I live in this neighborhood, or I do this, or I do that. There's always this, like you said, this, I don't know what they call that. It's almost like elitism. So they're going to have to say these things to let you know that I'm a doctor, or I'm a, lawyer or whatever. Okay, fine. Whatever you are, it doesn't matter. But your quality of a person has nothing to do with the titles you have. It has to do with the character that you portray. And that is something that I have to discover from seeing your actions, from knowing you. You can't tell me I have a title, therefore I'm better than you, because that's not the case.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like this comment from Terry. Never heard that phrase before, but yeah. Terry always comes out with good ones. She's quite one of the more entertaining people I read comments from online. Good friend, lovely lady. It's good fun,
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. But it's
Resume.
really a shame.
Yeah.
It's really a shame that a lot of people, they tend to take the celebrity status and they make something out of it, which I think is a mistake. But they put people on a pedestal, and they never should. No one should ever be set up high. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in leaders. I believe in doing. I believe in getting results through doing and judging the character of a person, not by first impressions, but by long-term observation. That's my way of doing it. It's just one of my traits.
Yeah, observation's key. It's like, oh, I heard this in the news. What did you see? What did you observe? What happened in your geographical location around you? Did the councillors, did the people in charge of state, your county, whatever, have they done what you've employed them to do by casting your vote? Yes or no? No. Okay. Why haven't they? Is it their fault? Yes or no? Okay, something needs to change. Then you bet with your money, you bet with your vote. So that's the way the world works.
That's right.
Unfortunate, it's the misinformation out there which we have to tackle.
Well, that's the problem. But the thing is that some people just don't want to accept the personal responsibility of determining what misinformation is. What they will do, they will take the information from a source, accept it without questioning it, and then complain when things don't work, rather than going out there and using a little bit of common sense, which isn't that common anymore, to try and separate the claims from the reality. And it just, to me, it's amazing.
Yeah. Question for me: what do you think of him being to target fat receptors in the stomach region? So him is a plant alkaloid, much like caffeine, I guess you could say. Works similarly, and that will elevate your heart rate. It stimulates alpha-2 receptor agonism, which is an area or receptor site of your body where the fat is distributed more unevenly. So when people say, I've got stubborn body fat on my lower back or my abdomen, or I can't get these abs to pop, or whatever crap it is, that's what they're saying. They're basically saying, I've got a stubborn area of body fat I can't lose fat from. People use himbine in bodybuilding circles to target that fat by activating it, which activating the tissue around that area, which stimulates lipolysis, which means you'll lose disproportionately more fat from that area. Doesn't make much difference to you, Tim? No. To me, a bit more. The reason why I say it is because if you're currently about 15% body fat, maybe 20, I don't know, probably 15, you've still got a long way to go until you're going to notice any noteworthy impact from using your himbine. I'd personally wait until you're further, if your goal is fat reduction. If your goal is fat reduction, you're losing fat now, I'd keep going until you're below 10% body fat. You got a visible six-pack. Then you want to start adding these things in. So only add what's needed at a time it's needed. It does have side effects, cold sweats, anxiety, and interrupted sleep if you take it too late in the day. My personal advice is just wait until you're much leaner to actually use it. But yes, in theory it would work, but you will end up losing more body fat overall over your body to get to the point where you're going to notice it working, if that makes sense. So that's my non-expert opinion on fat burning, which I've been researching for 17 years.
What I don't understand, what is this fascination with being low fat? Why would anybody want to be single-digit body fat unless they're a bodybuilder? I just don't understand it.
I think for some bodybuilders, it's a form of like armor, being lean. Like it's a way of, oh, I used to be like this, now I've transformed. People love the transformation. So for you, Rick, it might be your motivation to do things is probably it might be extrinsic or it might be intrinsic. So it might be, I like to fix this thing because I feel good about it because now it's not broken, now it's not wasted. Or it might be, I like to fix things because I want to use the thing that's broken. So that's your motivation. So you have two different types of motivation. For me, with bodybuilding, it's more about it's having a discipline and a way to sort of live my life, which I can track, measure, analyze, and make improvements from. So to other people, the idea of me doing it for other people is completely out of the question. It doesn't go into my mind at all. I couldn't care less. I don't do it to show off in that sense, but I mean, yeah, I mean, ideally, no one has to be very lean. You just have to be lean enough. Be lean enough meaning you're fit and healthy enough. You're not losing sleep. Your health markers are good. That's about it. I mean, the leaner you are, the harder or strain it can be in your body, especially when you've got a lot of muscle. And muscle does have mitochondria in it, so the more mitochondria that you produce, the more your body has to recover from. Tissues like your brain, your kidneys, your heart have a high mitochondrial density. The more muscle you have, the more mitochondrial efficiency or effectivity you're taking away from those organ systems. So you put more overburden on your body. Now, I'm not saying going to the gym is bad for you if you're doing it to build a sustainable body that can do what it needs to do. But going beyond that is a waste of time unless you're a bodybuilder. Or you just happen to want to look good for whatever occasion, for whatever reason. Yeah, Thomas is talking about goal setting, not goal setting, advice, opinions, and getting done what he needs to get done. Yeah. Yeah, you just, as long as you have to fall across the right advice, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked that after nearly maybe 2 years of carnivore, I think Thomas said, he hasn't come across what I've said in someone else's wording. Like, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. So had I not said what I had to say, he'd probably still be spinning his wheels and probably go nowhere at all. He'd probably get worse. So that speaks volume about the community. There's still more work to be done. People still need to understand too much food will make you over fat. It'll inflame the body. There's definitely a good and better and best case scenario for implementing whatever strategy you have. So yeah, good work, Thomas. Keep it up.
Exactly.
I don't want to make any more videos telling people what to do. Don't make any more mistakes.
You are pretty fabulous, Jonathan, and goes to show how Rick introduced you to many of us, and the crossover culture in the channels grow by promoting each other. That's right. But you have to understand. You have to understand, though, there is a second side to this. The scammer channels that want to lead people a certain way, this crossover in the channels, it exposes them. So they don't want to promote other people's channels because when their advice is not good, one of the other crossover channels will expose it. That's why they are so much against it, in my opinion.
I've witnessed that in the bodybuilding online YouTube community.
See?
I don't even mention the word carnivore, and I just say there's a better way to track the food that you're eating, or like work out how much food you need to eat, or what blood tests to get done, what blood markers to check. You know, something I don't know, and I can evidence this from literally yesterday and the day before. I actually posted. I basically asked to go on 3 YouTube channels, say, "Hi, I've got some information to share with you. I don't want to sound dogmatic or forceful like carnivore diet. There's some things I could teach you from the carnivore diet, which would make your experience as a bodybuilder better, and for your viewers as well. So everyone wins." I wanted to do that just out of human compassion. They didn't like it. They didn't like the idea that I know shit they don't.
Exactly. That's the
thing. I don't know it all, but I know something they didn't. That's the problem.
The thing is that none of us know it all. That's why I tell everyone the best resource you can have is people that you can consult with. Because if there's something you don't know, instead of taking a guess or trying to Google it, why not go right to the source? Find somebody else who's had the same problem. It's a pleasure when I run into a problem. If I'm dealing with a software issue, for example, and I know somebody that knows the shortcut, I can get the solution in minutes rather than having to struggle for hours with frustration and failure and wasting my time. And that's the beauty of a community, a real community, not a community you have to pay to play in, but a community of people that know each other and are willing to bring up information, even if it may hurt someone's feelings. The thing is, it's like me. It's kind of hard to hurt my feelings because people have tried for years, and I joke about myself. Well, Rick, you're too skinny. I say it all the time. I'm too skinny. I'm not going to be one of these model guys. I'm not going to be the next Sean Baker or Dr. Chafee. Let's put it that way. I'm Rick, And there's only one Rick. And I don't want to be anybody else. I'm not going to look like Jonathan. But why do I have to? I got him right here. If I want to look at muscles, I can just look at Jonathan. Why would I have to make my own? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I only look in the mirror, guys, as a bodybuilder. Like, you'd think that he checks himself. I really don't. When I first started, my goals were completely different. It was, how do I build a muscle body I can show off, basically. Now it's become more than that because I compete. It's my profession now. It's what I do. It's my sport. So Rick doesn't work all the time that he's done at home or when he's fixed something. He's thinking, oh, I've checked that off. Now on to the next thing. That's human evolution. You don't sort of ponder around the same things. You look for the next advancement. So that's all I do. And I'm probably one of the least vain bodybuilder people. Yeah, Thomas, no worries, Thomas. And like Jonathan, no crochet channel. Yeah, I don't care what channel it is. I mean, I gravitate towards people that I think are good people. You know,
Right.
It doesn't really matter who they are. I mean, if Rick was talking about flowers, I'd still be friends with Rick and probably still come on to chat about stuff. I'd have no expertise, but I'd still be here.
Exactly. People back then looks like a bod like you, Rick, or either Jonathan if they're a bodybuilder. Well, that's a good point. I've had a lot of people tell me that I look like somebody from a different decade. I look like somebody from the 50s or 60s. And that's purely intentional. That was the idea in the beginning. The hairstyle, the clothing style, I try to be as untrendy as possible. You don't see me with the fancy graphics, with the black, white, and gray, with the minimalist aesthetic. I'm just the opposite. And again, it's part of my character. Who else uses a rotary phone during a live stream? Nobody. But it's something that I do. And some people seem to like it. And it sets me apart from everyone else. And long after I'm gone, somebody might find a video of us and they go, look, who's this guy, Rick? Yeah. That was an interesting character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, flower power. That was a 60s thing. That's funny. Flower power. The funny thing is, plants are actually some of the most powerful forces in nature because not only do they provide energy for certain animals to eat, but they can also cause a lot of pain and suffering if they happen to eat the wrong plant.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we have here? You don't want to have a waistline like in India. Well, that's true, and I don't have one. My waist is about 35, and it's hard to find 35, so I usually wear 34 or 36, depending on the pant size. And I don't have a gut that sticks out. I don't have a six-pack. I have a flat stomach. There's just one little line down the middle. But there's no six-pack because I'm about 14% body fat from what they've measured. And I'm comfortable with that. I would never want to be single digit. I don't have enough muscle mass to look good in single digit. I think I look better, 14% than I would at 12%.
I agree. Yeah, you look like a string bean.
Exactly.
You're like a straw.
And the thing is, once you get the low body fat, your face, you get a lot more lines. Your skin becomes sort of thin. Mine is still pretty tough. I don't want to be low body fat. When people get older, they tend to lose body fat in their skin anyway. So why in the world would I want to age myself by having unnaturally low body fat? What I would rather do to get less body fat is just build some more muscle. But the thing is, even a lot of the people I know that have worked out, I don't think they're actually building muscle fibers. I think what they're doing, they're just getting some fat in the muscles so they look fuller. But when you touch them, they're not as stiff. Someone like me, when they touch me, they're like, what is this? It's solid. There's no real give to it. But some of these people, they definitely have a little bit of give. But again, it's an aesthetic thing. And to me, it's more of a performance thing. Yeah, would it be nice to look muscular? Sure. But the amount of effort that goes into it, the maintenance and all those things, that's a lot of time and that's a lot of energy that has to be spent to maintain that physique. You're not going to get it just, go there and inject some gear and you're going to get big. It doesn't work that way. It's a whole process.
Yeah, we get this on the channel all the time. If I can sort of not picking on ladies, but it just happens to be ladies. I don't want to get like you, Jonathan, too muscular. I'm
You
like,
won't.
you do realize I've been doing this for like 17 years, and I'm not like the biggest bodybuilder in the world, sort of thing. So, what's it going to take you 100 years as a female? Like, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And you can see over here, Tim is mentioning about his medicinal plants. Jonathan also knows about medicinal plants. And even though he's a carnivore, he still uses them. So don't think that plants are 100% bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to make an intervention this week. A not carnivore intervention. And when I say not, I don't mean like I'm eating French fries and chocolate ice cream and stuff. I just had to add in some mushrooms and some spring onions, I think, to a broth that I made. To deliberately add fiber to my diet because things weren't going the way I wanted them to. Now, would I do that long term? No. But it served its purpose. Now I feel better because of it. Because I had a bit of a stomach infection, things weren't going right. So I added plants as a medicine, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not my mainstay. No. Yeah.
You know, you got some of the channels that talk about you have to be 100% carnivore all the time or you won't get the benefits. And if things aren't going well, carnivore harder. And I think that's the biggest disservice because then the vegans, they pounce on that and they say, see, the carnivore diet doesn't work. But if you've ever seen a real carnivore like a cat or any other carnivore animal, many times what will you see them doing out in nature? Eating grass. I've seen them eat
my
fruits.
dog does that.
See, your dog does that.
Yeah.
My cat, he got a hold, he ate Suriname cherries. Those are fruits. And somehow he managed to eat around the seed. So it's not like all carnivores eat meat all the time. If you get a parasite or you get an infection, some plants are powerful medicine and you can expel that from your system by eating certain plants. There are also plants that can relieve pain. There are plants that, as you know, as you can see probably right there, we see an example of plant power in action. And Tim is
Very
into
powerful.
that as well.
Plus man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for me it's yeah, there is some nicotine there. For me it's habit. I wouldn't say it's an addiction though. Nicotine isn't addictive, but the act of actually vaping something is addictive, I think. For me, I can put this down all day and not worry. I like to do it, so I do it.
Right.
Probably not going to kill me too soon. I mean, I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and it's not killed me. My lung function hasn't decreased, and I don't have any blood work which suggests that it's bad.
It's not going to kill
bad, but it's not going to kill me. Now,
it's not going to kill you any more than that cigar killed Mitch.
Mitch, yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to pick on him, but yeah, you said it for me.
He loves his cigars, and he's still alive. So you don't get swole by accident. That is true. It's maintenance. It's work. It takes effort. Having a body like that shows that you've put a lot into it. You can't buy that. Even if you're the richest man on earth, you can't buy that body. That's something that you have to develop on your own. Any more than knowledge. When you have knowledge, things that I know how to do, you can't buy that. I mean, you could go to school and learn in college, but unless you have the hands-on experience, you can't get that. And that's something I think that's like Jonathan was saying, if I was a different build, I'd probably be a good bodybuilder because the thought process is very similar. They always used to tell us that bodybuilders were dumb. They were muscle heads, they're beef or whatever. But everyone that I've known was more intelligent than the average person. I've never known a bodybuilder, a real serious one, who was not intelligent, because you can't be a dummy and do this without getting yourself hurt or getting in serious trouble.
I would agree. I'd say nearly all bodybuilders I know that have died over the years from bad health is because they're dummies. Or they just don't have the information, or they don't access information because they're too lazy to seek out the knowledge.
That's right. And that's the thing. So again, when you look at someone that has a good build, there's an automatic respect, I think, that goes with it, especially when you see somebody older. When I see somebody with gray hair or old looking skin, but they have a physique, they have the build, I look at that person and it elevates them, as strange as it may seem, over the person that walks around with a big gut and they're breathing hard. I look at that, I go, it goes down. And I'm sorry, I know it's discrimination, but it's just something that I do because I know the thought process behind it. To build that body and be that age took a lot of thought. It took some sacrifice, and it took constant improvement. Whereas just being a fat slob, it doesn't take anything. Sit in front of a TV, turn on sports, eat some snacks, and that's all it takes. And when I see people in their 20s that look like that, it makes me really angry. I just get to the point where I want to grab them and, what's wrong with you? It drives me crazy because it's unnecessary.
That's why I support, Donna Ray, Bacon Runner. I don't particularly know the lady very well, or vice versa, but I support her work because she's a slightly older lady, keeping fit, promoting fitness and health. Why wouldn't I want to support her? She's I wouldn't quite say my counterpart, but she's doing somewhat what I'm doing, but as an older individual and a female. So it only serves as a benefit to me to actually help her out and, give her a super chat or something every now and then, just to motivate her. So, yeah, put your money where your mouth is, guys. Whether that be money or actual likes, comments, subscribes, that's what you got to do, which I'm sure most of you are doing.
Exactly. Someone says the fourth wise man, nicotine is not a poison. Nicotine is a blood cleanser and immune system enhancer. The chemicals added into non-natural tobacco is toxic. Ask your natives.
ACE2 inhibition can mitigate the infection rates of people that had certain respiratory illnesses. Do your research, guys. And since using nicotine in a gum format or vaping, I've not had a respiratory illness. Touch wood. So
there you go.
Anecdotes.
And this is from a carnivore bodybuilder telling you that certain plant chemicals can be medicinal. So it's not just me saying that. The quack, we got it here. But you won't find this on a lot of the mainstream carnivore channels. Can you imagine if someone said there was benefits to nicotine? Really? They'd have a total breakdown.
Yeah, some people are quite dogmatic about looking at the research themselves. If I ask one of the bigger channels, what do you think of magic mushrooms? Now, this isn't medical advice, what I'm about to say, guys, but no one has ever died from them, and they're used medicinally in schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, various other conditions, PTSD, addiction, to help prevent and reduce some of those symptoms. So, is it really that bad if you're in the right circumstance to use something like that? Probably not.
Well, Tim's got to go to work. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Tim, I think he uses the mushrooms and the cannabis and a few other things. What is the other one he likes to use? Kratom?
Kratom.
Yeah. So, and he seems to benefit from it. And again, I think a lot of the carnivore channels, they wouldn't want to have him around because he eats some carbohydrates and he uses those plant medicines. But I tell everybody, if it's working for him, that's great. Come on in. We're all the same. We're looking for improvement. We're looking for health. We're looking to improve ourselves, not only physically, but mentally. And it may take some of that. Everyone is raised different. Not everybody had the same experience. Jonathan went through a different experience than I did. I think we're a result. Genetics, epigenetics, this all combines. So it's kind of hard to give someone specific advice unless you're working with them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Let's see. Smoke most of my vids. Mushrooms. I didn't know you could smoke mushrooms. I have no idea.
Mushrooms, yeah, that's usually that's made into a distillate with it's usually like more extracted, like they put the chemical in it, then add an oil to it, something like that. Yeah, that can be done. The problem is the administration can be quite intense. So if you take a gummy, for example, it's got X milligrams of whatever drug in it. If you inhale something, is that 10? Is that 1? Is that half? Then, you can sit there sort of thing, just smoking away. Before you know it, you're taking too much. So that's the only downside, I think. Or one of the only downsides, maybe. Yeah.
I'm native Osage Indian, and yes, I play and get back into growing my own tobacco because of that. I used to grow tobacco as an insecticide. I had the native variety, the rustica. The problem is the ducks used to eat it, and the ducks loved it. And I don't know why the ducks were eating tobacco leaves, but they would eat every leaf they could get their beaks on.
Yeah.
Into vaping, it is hard to quit. It's like being a nail biter or thumb sucker, I guess, except with chemicals.
Pretty much. It can be hard for a lot of people, yeah, I'm sure.
I plan to get Google Type. Okay. Let's see. I appreciate everyone's honesty. Well, that's what we're here for. We're not here. We're carnivores. We don't sugarcoat anything. You get it raw from the source. If you want to cook it, that's your that's your idea, you know, that's your option. But you're going to get it raw from here.
Yeah, I think, well, Brick and I have certainly proven over time that we don't lie. There's the amount of things we've said which people might necessarily agree with, that we could get in trouble for saying. Well, if we just didn't say it, we wouldn't have that risk, but we've taken that risk, so I think we've proven it.
Right. Yeah, and the thing is, again, in the carnivore community, they praise the meat, the grass-fed meat, whatever. And I say I eat anything I can get. I'll eat pork, I'll eat chicken, I'll eat iguana, I'll eat fish, whatever I can get my hands on, I'll eat it. And then they talk about all these health hacks. You have to do this, you have to do that. I don't do any of that. I live kind of primitive. You're not going to see me timing how long I sleep. I don't use an alarm clock. I go to bed, I wake up when I wake up. And if I don't have energy, I take a break. You know, I'm not going to push myself. For what? Let's see. The ducks don't die. Watch the ducks. No one survived the jungle without observing the animals. Yeah. And I don't know how they could eat tobacco leaves and not get sick, but they loved it. I'll tell you, ducks love tobacco leaves. I plan the correction. And the other thing, too, these native people that were using these medicinal plants, where did they get the idea from? It had to come from experience.
I imagine they would have stumbled across it like how they stumbled across fire. They probably looked at the sky and thought, oh, look, there's something burning. Oh, it's a tree on fire. Oh, I've never seen a fire before. How do I do that? Oh, there's a tree on fire from the lightning. So that hit that. Can I hit it? So they probably would have got wood and probably just hit them together. They would have thought, well, that's not working. Maybe we need to hit it harder. Maybe we need to, do the old trick sort of thing. They would have sussed it out that way, I imagine. The same with not vaping, vaping back in the day. Imagine they probably had like a bonfire. Probably added like different mushrooms and herbs and things to like bulk up a stew. I feel full when I eat this. My dog, my pet, doesn't die when I give it this food. I'm gonna try it. Boil it up in a pot. We've now got a big amount of food. Eat it. Oh, that tastes quite interesting. Well, that tastes bitter. That tastes sad. Put that back. Oh, that guy's died. Well, he's not going to pass off his offspring to be so stupid.
Right.
You see what I mean? That's how they sussed it, I think. They probably added things into the cauldron.
Well, that's it. And I see
like Terry said, yeah.
Smoking mushrooms. I never heard of anybody smoking mushrooms. That's kind of interesting.
Like I say, usually it's like LSD or something.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be something like that, yeah. I'm not too well versed in that, so I don't
know. Ducks are eating it. Let's eat it too. It's funny. Yeah. That's good to know. Now I know how to make sure when I do grow my tobacco to keep my ducks away from it. Thank you. Yeah, they also eat banana sprouts, but you don't live in a tropical climate. But I'll tell you, the ducks, because the thing is, I get these big fat green caterpillars that eat the tobacco and tomato and all the nightshades. So I let the ducks in there to eat them. Well, the ducks also started eating the tobacco leaves. Next thing you know, all my tobacco plants are gone and there's no bugs. Thinking, what happened to all of them? And then I realized the ducks were eating them. Plus, the ducks were pooping out stuff that looked like chewing tobacco that was spit out. So evidently, there's some chemicals in that tobacco that they became addicted to. And every time that they saw a tobacco plant, they would go for it. And they would just nibble away. They take their beak and they pull little pieces off and they would eat it. But there was a limit. When I had a lot of tobacco, they couldn't eat all of it. So there was a limit to how much they could eat. And they would act a little strange from it too. They would, number one, they would seem to be more active. They would, move around faster, and they would fight more. And then after a while, they just kind of relax and do nothing. It was really weird.
Yeah. I'm going to head off now, Rick.
All right.
I think I'm seeing my brother. Tomorrow I'm seeing my brother for a late birthday get together. So my present each year, rather than having a gift, I'd rather spend the day with my brother, go to the gym, swim, sauna, cold plunge, all the things that you don't like probably. Then have a meal out. Then that'd probably be my last meal out until like November.
Wow.
So probably duck food to some extent. I don't know, but I'll see how I get on. I'll let you guys know next week how I deal with it.
Sounds good.
So I need to spare my energy a bit and my back. But cheers for sharing the stream with me today, Rick. Much appreciated as always. We've had a quieter stream today, but we have had the old whatever it is live stream going on and things. So we're not going to expect massive numbers, but we're grateful to everyone that has joined us so far. But Rick's going to carry on now. Lead me to it, and he might open up the panel again for a guest, maybe. It's up to him.
All right. Well, good to have you here as always, Jonathan.
Cheers, Rick. We'll catch up soon. All right.
All right.
Care.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Cheers, Terry.
All right. And don't forget, in 20 minutes, we're going to have the live stream with Barry Simon. So I'm going to begin to wrap this up. I don't want to go to the very last minute because I want to give you time to go over there. Let me see if I can find the link to it, and I'll post it to my chat. It's a physical addiction. My mom vaped, zero nicotine, but always had her vape pen. It's got to be. It's the habit, the addiction, proper digestion because of carnivore. Well, there you go. I'm not addicted to anything. I'm doing the same thing, Sandy. It's just me holding. My stomach made a little sound. It's like, Rick, you're getting close to lunchtime. But I don't get hungry. Weird. So weird when you think about it. Okay. It's like an adult pacifier. Ooh, I have no plans of quitting anytime soon. If it's not hurting you, you don't have to. And Terry Girl says, have a good day, Jonathan. Pond Apple says, thank you, Jonathan. I looked at your video. Well, there you go. And he did share the link. There is a remedy for raising ducks and growing tobacco. You must get a cow and feed the cow water from the river where the ducks fly south, then put a tobacco leaf on duck's back to grow south. Okay. Well, there you go. But the rustica version of tobacco, which is also known as Indian tobacco, it grows quite well. The biggest enemy has always been the tomato hornworms, although with the ducks around, the hornworms are not an issue. But when it comes right down to it, the tobacco plant is a plant. It comes with risks. If you're going to use that plant, be aware that burning any plant in any quantity releases chemicals like nitrosamines and tars and stuff like that. And your body's not designed to breathe that in. Now, if you're going to use a vaporizer, you probably limit a lot of that. When I was a kid, we used to have a vaporizer when you got a cold. It would help with your sinus issues. You would put this oil in the vaporizer and you'd heat it up, and it would make this kind of a smell that went with it. And it didn't produce any visible steam, but it made the whole place smell like essential oils. So I guess that was a form of vaporizing. And it used to work. Post Barry's channel. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, let me go over here, and I'm going to go into, where is my YouTube? It's here somewhere. Okay, let me see. Oh, I'm going to go to over here. Let's see, my narrow window where I still have 8 people. And I am going to, let me go back to YouTube. And let's see if we can get the live. Let me start with Mitch's channel. And by the way, Lance is making his video right now. He'll probably get off at the same time. All right, let's see. And where is Mitch's channel? Oh, here it is. All right. So we have noon till 4 p.m. This is the link to Mitch's video. All right. And let me go ahead. Since I can't do it through StreamYard, we will do it through my YouTube channel. So we'll go ahead and put this here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin this one. And I'm going to unpin the other one. Okay. Okay. And now, okay, where'd it go? Come on. There we go. Okay. So I pinned that message. I'm going to go to my other version of the channel. I'm going to unpin this message. And I'm going to pin this one for Mitch's channel. All right. And we will pin this. I could just leave it there. It doesn't really matter. And then on Barry's channel, let me see if I can find it. Why can't I find Barry's channel? That's weird. But it is on Mitch's channel and Barry's channel. We'll find it here. Okay. I can't find it. Oh, well, no big deal. Anyway, let's see. No, I don't see it. I get some weird comments on my channel, I'll tell you that. But I'm really happy that we get to do this on a regular basis. And let's see. Old guy carnivore. Okay, Rick is posting Barry's live right now, and it looks like, let's see. All right. Okay. I'm looking at Mitch's channel here. Let me see. No, I don't want that. What am I doing here? Okay, so Mitch is already starting his. It says join Mitch live in 15 minutes. So Mitch is starting his live stream. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wind this one down. I'm going to make sure I click like on my own. I'm going to close my YouTube stream over here, and I'm going to hit the comments, and I'm going to shut this down. And go ahead, and you can check on Mitch's. I can't find Barry's link, maybe he could send it to me, but he hasn't. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close my YouTube. I'm going to go to StreamYard. Update Rick on those baby. They're all grown up now, and they ended up being all boys. Well, that's good. Those ducks, the male ducks, are the best for cooking, the baby ducks. So you got a bunch of drakes, fatten them up good, and you're going to have delicious duck meat. And there's the link for Mitch's channel. And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to let you, and Brian Dish says, have a great day and awesome run to your weekend, eat meat. I'm going to go ahead and cut myself out of StreamYard, and you can go ahead and move to Mitch's channel. Mitch will entertain you with his music and his intro. I'm looking right now. He has the StreamYard link where you can pop in and participate. So unless anybody has any more really comments that are coming in, I think we can wrap this up. See you later, King of Quack. Have a nice day. That's really good. And what I can do, I can play you out with more of the intro video, which I don't have, but I'll go ahead and pull this up, and let's see. We have right here. So we'll go ahead and cue this up, and there we go. I don't know if you can still hear me, but get the comments there. All right. There we are.